What is up, gamers? I'm not entirely sure if everything's going horribly awry. Um, hey, VOD watcher, shout out to you because you're the only people that can, in fact, be here. You know what I forgot to do? Post in Crone's Discord. I don't know. Crone told me to post in the Discord every single time, but then I'm like, someone earlier today was like, hey, yo, I do, in fact, need money. Um, anyone want to commission anything? And then I'm like, I feel like the self-promotion tab is much better preserved. Wait, that's not, wait, much better reserved for people doing stuff like that. And, I've fully just have been flooding it. This is weird to check the levels and things. Um, fully, I apologize because this microphone is old and mayhaps not good. So, stream might be strange and peculiar right now, but I don't know. Um, what am I doing? I fully did not set up music at all. So I do kind of want to be listening to music and things, right? That could be a good idea. Um, yes. Yo, should we just hit shuffle on my playlist? Here, let me remove desktop. What? Let me mute desktop audio so that way YouTube doesn't get mad at me, you know? I do in fact want to be able to upload this VOD. And we can already see the song Feminist by Pinky? Question mark? I don't know, but I directly stole this shit from Crone because I don't know, there's just something about it. The way, nope, that's loud as hell even for me. What is happening? RIP no one? Because I don't know, what am I saying? Um, we need to make this not eardrum shattering. Okay? Is this good? Is this cool? Maybe a little bit higher, maybe? Checking the levels would in fact be weird for me. And music is already set up, kinda. Would you look at that? When you stream, often OBS just sort of remembers certain things as long as you haven't done any weird shit, you know? Um, oh, but new Gal Musette song? Okay, we're not putting everything on shuffle quite yet. Um, I'm gonna yap for a bit and then I'm gonna mute with the lavalier. You know, I'm like saying words, I'm doing things in order to check the levels. That's what I'm doing here. Because I'm gonna mute and then absolutely just crank the volume up on my phone so that I can see what's going on. Actually, that's like low-key perfect. I don't know how I did that, because this lavalier kind of sucks. And I don't know what I was thinking before, but the default settings on this that I used to have was I cranked the gain down a ton just with the like volume slider in OBS for no reason, and then put a filter on it that was a gain filter that made it louder. Which means that all the quality that wasn't there just um was made worse by my dumbass. So yeah, here we are. And I was talking kind of loudly and quickly when I wanted to check the levels because I don't know why, but this stream manager is absolutely insane right now. Or I guess just my phone. It's like there's no delay. Usually there's a little bit of a delay, which is weird because I'm streaming at the same bit rate that I usually do, I think. Might be a little bit higher actually, but I don't know. Um, so yeah, we're doing and actually let me switch to display capture. Um, you know what? I'm just gonna have to explain it the best I can, you know? So up on the screen right now, we got a picture of my room. That's my room right now. I'm sitting And I literally like just took that. I'm sitting right there next to my little laptop there, um, on that chair to the left. But basically, yeah, I was talking last stream about how I need to move around my room, and this is a bizarre setup. Oh my God, I can get up and walk around and shit, and I just got a shitty microphone clipped to my little shirt, you know? Makes it slightly strange to like read chat or anything because I'm um doing doing stuff and I just have to sort of bring my phone with me everywhere and there's not transparent Twitch chat right next to me. I wish you could just be there in the corner of my vision, you know? Get some sort of little futuristic implant in my eyeball so I can look at Twitch chat always. That could be cool. I'm gonna just smash this freaking shuffle button, see if it gives me an absolute cursed shuffle. Dude, what? This shuffle's kind of sick as hell. Think. Dude, oh my God. Baby Fangs, legendary artist coming up in kind of actually a long time, but um, eventually the song Baby Fangs by Prima Donna, no, the song Prima Belladonna by Baby Fangs is going to come up, and that's one of those artists that I just really lucked out and YouTube recommended them to me, and I'm like, this is insane. This is so good, and it only has a little teeny tiny bit of views on it, which is rather strange. Actually, I think it doesn't. I think it has quite a bit more than that. And I forget that musicians don't like exist on YouTube exclusively. They're not YouTubers. Um, I just have my weird YouTuber brain. And so, and damn it, I want to crank this music up a little bit. I think we can. Maybe too much. This is usually where I have it though. So it might be slightly too loud because this lavalier might be slightly too quiet. So I'm just gonna yap for a second and then mute um and then not pause because what the fuck. Um yeah, I'm yapping and muting and checking levels or this is a banger of a song and weirdly there's like a little bit of a delay with OBS and streaming, which I suppose makes sense, maybe. But um I noticed this because some VODs don't even like they cut off a little bit because I'll be saying bye and see you later and I'm gonna stop streaming, but then it cuts off and it doesn't actually include all of that, which is interesting. Especially since at the very beginning, I might have done this more than once where I did a funny little joke where I was like saying words and it was gonna cut off abruptly. Um, which might have been slightly ruined, or I guess it cut off abruptly anyway. So who knows? Yes. I feel like the music, we should at least make it a little bit quieter, right? Especially since um I don't fucking know, dude. It sounded normal, okay? So RIP anyone who appears in stream. Um I'm gonna let's just add an entirely new filter on it, you know? Because I was like, oh, I don't want to mess with this filter um any more than I have to. Let's name this filter little teeny tiny bit more. Oh my god, we got Under the Rug coming up next. Hell yeah, dude. I'm just gonna do minus 2 dB, as they say. 2.20, I guess. And then close, and hopefully that's good and awesome. But holy fuck, I just went on a tangent. But the image on screen is of my room, and I enjoy this like U shape. Hang on, I have a second image here. Does this make more sense? Maybe it's a little bit confusing because you don't like live in this room, but off to the left you can see that like curtain there. Pretend this is like a visual, maybe not visual novel. Um, Pretend it's a video game where you don't just get to move around freely with WASD, and you just got to use context clues and things that sort of carry on over. Look at the curtain over there on the left on the wall, the gray bits. If I go yoink, now it's on the right side because that's the rest of my room, almost like I planned that a little bit. I actually kind of didn't. I took the first photo and I'm like, is this going to be confusing? And then I was like, wait, there's a curtain. There's a curtain there. And so when I took the second photo, I made sure there was a little bit of that curtain on the left, you know? What the fuck am I even saying? Um, oh, this second, I don't know if this gives a little bit more insight into what my room looks like, but this gives you more insight, this first one, because the bed, my bed, if you will, is in the center of my room. And that creates a bit of a U shape, which is kind of nice for pacing around and overthinking many things, but it's not the greatest for like exercising or filming stuff, question mark, you know, making some cool lore bits or anything like that, which means I need to move some stuff around so I can have just more space in one area, and it kind of just makes sense. And also, I was yapping last stream, not like anyone was there, but this is a new bed, and it's quite a bit lower than my other one, which means that streaming normally is uncomfortable, which is why I'm doing this janky one, because I'm low-key hearing noises and I'm realizing that I don't know, it doesn't matter. But I needed to stream gamers. It's just sort of in my um I was gonna say veins question mark? That's not. It's it's just something that I very much enjoy doing now, you know? I've obtained an addiction, if you will. Not addiction, but it's just fun, you know? It's fun, it's easy, it feels productive, it's cool. Lots of stuff going on. And what am I saying? Hang on. Last stream was very much uncomfortable and I was very tired. And it wasn't as fun as usual because I underestimated how much lower this bed is, truly. So, because the last bed, it was like a normal mattress, and a normal mattress sort of has that like under part, and then it like comes up weirdly, like a mushroom. That's what I was gonna say, but maybe not like a mushroom, but I don't know. But it's like a regular old mattress. It's like a rectangle, and then there's the top of it. But this one's like memory foam and shit, so it just is a little rectangle. I guess not rectangle, but rectangular prism or whatever, you know? I remember that from fourth grade, question mark? I don't remember when I learned that. It was too many years ago to try to remember. So, but I fucking love this song. Absolutely legendary. I forgot I saw Tessa Violet live. Hell yeah. She sang this song in my ear holes, dude. And Francis Forever was there, you know? And so, and so let me continue this damn intro. Basically, the bed is there in the center. I need more room, so I'm going to move it over to the corner, the very corner where that brown desk thing is on the right. Um, and we're moving the brown desk to the opposite end of the room, directly across from it, over here where this mirror is, you know? Because then it'll be next to my TV, and I can sit at that desk and do live streams and it'll be better set up for doing stuff with my capture card and all sorts of stuff, you know? I didn't post anything to Instagram, but in my latest stupid little Fortnite YouTube video, there was a um something, I don't know. Should I post in Crone's stream? I feel like Crone's probably I actually don't even know um Crone's time zone and or sleeping schedule because their their actual time zone is kind of the opposite of mine, but like offset a couple hours. I don't remember in which direction, but so it's got to be 2-ish p.m. for them. But then I'm like, oh, but they're also nocturnal, I think, kind of, which makes sense because they're an owl, you know? Samuel, if you will. What am I saying? I'm saying yes. So time to stand up and go over there. And I need to start taking all those trinkets and things off of that desk because as I said, I just now took these damn pictures, um which means all that stuff is basically still there. I'm pretty sure like all of it. Looks like there might be one thing there that wasn't there a second ago. Or am I stupid? Oh, hang on, I need to observe something because there very clearly is like documents on my bed right now. Oh, never mind. I don't think they're on in the photos. Unless. Well, I've narrowly avoided doxing myself. So like let's freaking go, gamers. Um yeah, I got jury duty, which is kind of lame and not cool. And yo, Ronnie is live. Shout out Ronnie. Everyone go follow Ronnie and watch his streams. Ronini, if you will, with two I's. It's Ronini. And I'm saying that because usually I forget to link to stuff that I talk about in stream because at this point I don't remember a single thing that ever happens. Um, this is so strange. I'm live streaming and I'm looking across my room right now at that computer that you can actually see, like you can see where it is. But I'm on the other side of that. I'm in front of that brown desk. Um, and I'm looking over at that computer and my stupid little PNG tuber's moving. I'm not like holding anything or having to look in a certain direction. I can do a little spin right now. I'm spinning. Can you guys believe that? I'm fully spinning. That's insane. This is what am I even saying? Um, I don't know. I'm just grabbing shit. Don't know if this is loud as hell. I don't think I really tested grabbing and I'll just say fondling. Weird word choice. But here I am fondling these high chew bags that are made of plastic and things. You know, usually I don't have too many little treats around my room, but I especially feel like a little bit of a degenerate here today because I have all these stuff and things, and it's a little bit of a mess, which is partially due to the fact that I knew I was going to rearrange my room. So I was like, I'll fix it later, you know, when I have to move everything anyway. So I didn't really expect to be doing that publicly by taking little photos of my room and being like, look at this mess that I have that I'm about to be fixing. Oh, you know what actually is the very first thing I have to do? Probably like turn off my mirror and unplug it and move it. That could be a good idea. Yo, imagine if I had like a good lav microphone. That would be crazy. Like those Rode microphones everyone uses, those little rectangle guys. Um, that would be so sick because then we could actually do more streams like this because I'm sitting here. I'm actually not sitting, I'm standing, which is the opposite of, never mind. Um, so what am I saying? Because this is like a special little stream here, kinda. Um, you know? Like I could injure myself on stream right now. I'm picking up this mirror. It's made of glass and things. I don't think it should be too much of a problem. I've been working out, gamers, right? What's the point of working out if you can't pick up a mirror and move it whilst being entertaining? I don't think this is entertaining, but I'm saying words and things. If I had more time, it could have been cool to um set up a little camera. And I don't that would I would have freaked the fuck out actually. I think I did actually consider this because um I was like, oh, if I'm gonna be moving stuff around, it could be interesting to not just listen to me do it. Wait, did I? Never mind. I was gonna say, did I check the levels when that quieter song was playing? Because this song's kind of loud. But um, the fuck am I saying? Oh, I did consider doing a little thing where I just sort of put on my silly little mask and gloves and things, and then do that on stream, like fully on camera. And then I was like, if I'm moving stuff around and whatever, that's actually not gonna be good for me, and I'm gonna freak the hell out. That's gonna be overstimulating, and I can't breathe, and lots of different things that wouldn't be good. Because even now, I didn't think I would be breathing very hard. And I'm not breathing the hardest right now, but it's elevated. That's not the right word, but I guess that is the right word. Elevated breathing, right? I'm breathing a little bit harder. Move this heavy ass um workout ball, medicine ball, mayhaps. That's a lie. It's not heavy. It's 5 pounds, but sometimes it's heavy when you're using it to do like 5,000 Russian twists. Then yeah, that thing starts to get start what? That thing starts to get real heavy really quickly, and it's not the funnest. I'm being a little bit paranoid about having a horrible microphone, and then I realized um, many streamers do, and they're cool and they're fun, you know? I'm sitting here, I'm a janky little PNG guy, you know? Everyone knows me as this stupid little sock, which means which means cool and awesome. Which sometimes I forget, like when I'm in Crone stream interacting with everybody. Um, I'm always like, oh, this is fascinating because um, Cass and Monty sometimes refer to me to as the sock. I don't think that's true. Kinda. Um, Not in like a bad way. I'm fine with that. I am in fact a sock here. So they also refer to me as Juncture more than that. So I don't know what I don't know why I'm saying any of this. Um, but that's fascinating that I'm just that, and that's the only context that people have of me and my image, mostly. Unless you count my stupid little podcast where I exist. But it's always censored, it's always a weird little mask thing, which is slightly strange, because I stare at my face all the time, and things like that. Currently moving my big ol' owl guy. Freaking love this thing, dude. Hell yeah. And this is definitely the placebo effect, but I'm like, yo, I have been working out because I'm lifting that owl and it feels lighter than when I got it, maybe. I don't know if that's true. I also haven't lifted it in a long time, so that's also a factor. Um, what the hell am I saying? Well, shit looks so weird already, and I just moved the mirror out of the way. And a few other things, but basically just the mirror. I'm wondering, I don't want shit to start falling. Oh, you know what I'll do? Because there's all this stuff on the top. I'll just place it onto the desk, you know? I don't know if that's even going to be that helpful, but I should probably dust this as well. There's so much dust in my room, which is depressing. Like actually, I dislike dust very much, and it upsets me, as I will be saying in a fun little um lore thing soon. Hopefully soon. Maybe not though, I don't know. Um, what am I doing? Oh, there's dust also on the bottom. Something I did not consider, weirdly. I don't even have anything to dust with. What do people actually dust with? I think they might just be using like a damp little towel, you know? I don't have that. I have um hang on, maybe is anyone dusting with old socks? Is that a thing? I've got old socks. I've got old underwear too. I don't ever like wear some of this. Um, this is unimportant. What am I saying? Okay, I had to check the viewer count for a second. With my phone, that's not right next to me, so that's interesting. What am I doing? I don't do I like this song? Maybe. It sounds cool. There's like one part of it that I'm like, oh, this is cool and interesting. Might skip this though, low key, because this part, at least currently, isn't as interesting to me. Um, I'm gonna skip this because literally I'm the only one here. Um, what did I just do? Did I not skip it? My headphones are not doing the thing they're supposed to be doing. So now I gotta walk all the way over here to the other side to my little computer. Um, if I hit pause and then switch back and then do this. Okay, I like this song. I'm skipping this one too, I'm sorry. Um, you can check that out in your own time, VOD watchers, because you actually can't hear any of this anyway. But um, but sure. What is happening? Yo, what? Dust is actually so depressing. Like, why does that even happen? Can't I just have that not happen? Can't we all just live our lives and then come home to a room that's clean and how it's supposed to be? You know? Why do I have to upkeep and do things? Oh man, some of these like stuffed animal things are kind of dusty. I got a little dragon guy from Skyrim question mark. I'm kind of sure. My brother gave this to me because he was like he subscribed to um Loot Crate, I think on accident for like a long time. Um and I actually don't remember what happened, but basically he was getting all these loot crates and he would share some of the goodies with me. So that's cool. Also, I forget that I have this weird little bumblebee thing. What am I saying? Why is my bitrate going down? I only know that because I looked across the room at a little teeny tiny square that turned red. It's green now though, so that's cool. Um, and this dust is like kind of thick, like more than 1C thick. Um, well, I actually don't know how much is picking up on this microphone because the other microphone I have is like I somewhat know it, you know? Is it gross to just dust with my hands? I'm not like fully dusting. I'm kind of just wiping it off onto the floor, you know? Because then you can just, um, ew, dude, what the hell? Some dust just like flew up, like it was dirt or whatever. Um, And apparently something I didn't know is that this desk is darker than I thought it was. So that's kind of disgusting and kind of telling of how dusty this actually is. What is happening with the bit rate, dude? Why is it a red little square? Usually it's not even, um, what am I saying? Usually it's not even a something. I don't think this is gonna help, but I can grab my second phone, sorry gamers, and put it on airplane mode or something, because sometimes that helps. I think, maybe? Is this more placebo effect? Mayhaps. But I do in fact live in the middle of nowhere. The Wi-Fi here isn't the greatest, and so turning off a couple devices does in fact help a little bit. Got some cardboard boxes over here. I'm remembering that I don't think I like killed a moth fully, so I feel a little bit bad, but a long time ago, maybe not a long time ago, but a while ago, there was a moth in here, unfortunately. And that's gonna start happening again soon, I think, which is not cool. But I smacked this moth and it started like dying, like falling down, like Mayday, Mayday, helicopter type shit. Um, over into this corner that I'm removing some cardboard boxes from. So I'm like, am I just gonna find its dead body somewhere? Or I forgot I made this? Um, I don't know. I just be making shit randomly sometimes. Is this a symptom of ADHD and like hyperfixating and whatnot? No, it's not. But sometimes I will just be like, what if I could do this weird thing? And I had this Amazon box and I cut off a couple of the panels and I like joined them together with the weird like plastic threads. Is that I don't know. But I did that as if I was sewing them together. So that's interesting because I was like, I need to see if this is a way that I can join together two pieces of plastic. Even though nail guns are in fact at the dollar store, you know? Not nail guns. Um, glue guns. You know, I could just glue shit together like a normal person. No, I have to sew it together using the plastic little threads from the Amazon tape. And I like carefully ripped them out so that um so that it would be like a whole piece of it, you know? And this is nasty. Is dust like actually disgusting and whatever? Because I did say I'm just sort of like um wiping it off with my hand onto the floor so I can vacuum it later. And dust resembles dirt so much more than I remember it doing that. And I guess to an extent, dust is dirt, right? Because, you know, dirt gets everywhere from being outside and whatnot, and then it sort of gets kicked up and it's floating around, which does look pretty when the sun hits it in the morning, but then it settles onto everything, and then dust is everywhere and it's sad or whatever. It was that Baby Fang song I was talking about. Prima Belladonna. It's so fucking good, dude. Literally go listen to this song. I keep thinking I commented on it. I don't know if I did, which would be a problem because I did um recommend this song to somebody who isn't supposed to know that I'm a YouTuber. Um, I thought wiping off the dust wouldn't be too much of a problem, but there is a little bit of like residual dust on my hands. Like, okay, that sucks for me, but that's fine. You know, my hands are gonna get dirty anyway, kinda. Um, I guess there's dust everywhere, and I'm just sort of doing stuff. Well, this is a lot heavier than I remember it being. Um, but it also is probably a two-person lift, but I was like, I can just sort of shimmy this to the other side of the room. Oh, and this has to do a bit of a 360 at some point. Oh, there's room. This does not fill up the space like I remember it doing. I was like, oh, it fits perfectly in there. And it's like right next to my bed, but there's actually a little bit of a gap on either side. So that's cool, that's fine. Yeah, my back is not going to enjoy this. I just moved it a couple millimeters. Um, Granted, it was the heavy side that I just moved, but still, it wasn't the funnest thing I've done on stream. And the moth's body wasn't on the little bits of cardboard, so maybe it's on the floor. Maybe I'm accidentally about to crush it with this desk. Is there mayhaps room here to do a 360? Who knows? Um, but I'm just sort of pivoting it, friend style, moving the right side of it out so that I can kind of flip it, maybe. Okay, it's getting a little bit easier to move because um, what am I saying? It's like away from the wall and I can like use proper form for a second, you know? Um, I stand corrected. What am I doing? Okay. It is slightly colliding with my bed. This is truly horrifying, um, what I'm about to talk about because um, I figured now would be a good time to move stuff around because I got this stupid new bed. And I got this new bed because an individual who lives here in the same house as me moved rooms and I was living down here in the basement, you know? We are both living in my mom's basement, like what? Like degenerate losers, you know? That's just both of us now. Um, which is truly testing my stupid little theory slash thing that I say, where I'm like, oh, doesn't actually even travel that far. No one can hear what I'm saying. I'm paranoid for no reason whatsoever. Is this a problem? Because it's like touching my bed. I don't know. I don't know if it's like pushing against it in a way that might like break it. Because this is a heavy ass desk, which is something that I'm very quickly realizing. I think my facial hair was kind of just colliding with the microphone a little bit. Um, and I've said I have facial hair on the internet before, so that's why I like pause slightly. I said facial hair, like a weird person. Um, it's okay that people know that I have that. No? Okay, so this is actually going to be a desk rotating stream because it hasn't moved far and it's kind of like real heavy, you know? And I'm moving the heavy side. I keep saying that. There's actually some heavy shit in these drawers. Can I just like take these drawers out? Because the drawers are also contributing a little bit. I don't know if there's heavy shit in the drawers necessarily, but there's. Oh, wait, these are kind of just like. Oh shit, I didn't even know that this is how these were constructed. I don't know why I said it like that, but these. I guess it's an old desk and it's literally in the center. There's like one little like wooden rail type thing. It's not even those classic like side ones that are usually like screwed in or whatever. I don't know why I said or whatever twice. But yeah, usually those rail things are made of metal. They're all lubed up. And those are kind of janky. Like compared to this is sick as hell. These drawers work. You can just pull them out apparently. Because those metal ones are like weird and they take a little bit of effort and putting them back in is super hard. This is smooth as hell and I'm just yanking these out. Okay, what the fuck? This is so much heavier than I thought it was. Oh, there's fully like a belt in here. Also, the one thing I was thinking about, the thing that is heavier in those drawers is a freaking, what's it called? A gimbal, which is something that I purchased on a whim because I'm like, I'm starting a YouTube channel that's gonna have lore. Let me purchase this little thing for my phone so that I can do films, question mark, and things like that. Even though 3.5 years later, I've used it maybe a couple times, and I don't think it's, um, well, actually, I don't even remember. Maybe I've never used it actually for something that I've put out, but I've messed around with it a little bit, and I've had that thing for many years. A bit of an impulse purchase, mayhaps a mistake, if you will. And and at this point, it's probably slightly obsolete and um, obsolete in a way that it's like an older gimbal, and there are definitely newer ones and better ones. And also obsolete in the fact that many newer phones just have like really good stabilization. Like my phone, I remember when I first got it, I opened up the camera and it looked weird to move around because it wasn't super shaky and there's like um almost a delay when you like rotate it and move it around because there's so much stabilization going on. But yeah, let me wipe off some more of this dust because I'm disgusting. Um, Nobody worry, I'm gonna wash my fingers after stream, okay? If I'm just touching the desk, I don't think that's much of a problem. Is dust like covered in bacteria and actually not good? Probably. Hey, there are a ton of spider webs in this corner that I didn't expect. That's kind of spooky. No spiders, unfortunately. I don't know if that's unfortunate. Well, sometimes. I kind of like spiders, you know? Out of all the bugs, I think spiders are mayhaps the coolest. And I think this is probably just because the media and whatnot, and like horror and things like that, you know? And people like owning various spiders and being like, oh, they're so cute. I've just sort of been indoctrinated into being like, spiders are cute, spiders are awesome. Okay, I was saying that and I was like stepping on a piece of hair or something and my foot just felt weird. I was like, what the hell? As I was looking up at my walls and being like, is there spider webs everywhere? I don't know. It looked like there could have been, but there isn't. It's a cool song, right? Oh my god, I need to listen to Suburban's new album. There's so many fucking albums I need to listen to. It's annoying. And artists just be releasing albums, truly. And even Suburban, I don't know if he's doing a newer album, like if it's been that long, or if he's doing an extended one, but he's also been releasing a few songs recently. And I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? I gotta listen to these, I gotta listen to his album. Maybe No Money did an album. Um, and Crone and Cass and Monty the other day on stream were talking about Baby No Money. And I was like, shit, dude. I probably I like all of his songs basically. Um, and I would like to add them all to my playlists and whatnot because I'm like, I've heard quite a few of them, and I'm like, these are bangers, dude. I need these. But then, but then I'm like, oh, I should just listen to the whole album and probably just add the whole album. And you know what? Baby No Money. I should probably just add the entire album to my playlist without even questioning anything. Maybe without even listening to it, because then later on when I go to listen to music, I'll be like, hey, Baby No Money's new album, and I'll click on it. Because when it's that, when you just open up your playlist and there's an album there that you can listen to, it's super easy to just do that. But when I'm like, oh, I need to go listen to these albums randomly, then I'm like, oh, I don't really want to listen to a whole ass album right now. And then I'll just listen to other music or something else. Um, and I could just add the album and then click on it later. After you add the album, it's just one little click away, and you don't even have to um, do anything. You don't even have to like use your brain at all, actually. It's just music. Everyone knows how to get to their music, you know? Unless you're a psychopath that doesn't listen to music. I remember I knew someone who straight up was just like, yeah, I don't really like music. I don't listen to music. Um, Granted, they were a little teeny tiny small child, not a small child actually, but like pretty freaking young individuals. So I don't know, maybe they haven't gone heartbreak, I guess, or um, all the big sad things that happen in people's lives, where you're like, oh shit, this music stuff. It's like it's gut wrenching sometimes, and sometimes mayhaps in a good way. Is that a thing? Yeah, I'm just sliding this thing. This is a bad idea. Wait. Oh. I did not know my desk was shaped this way. I feel like thought it was like fucking up the carpet because it looks like I don't know what it looks like, but there's like a curve in it that made it look like it was um making the carpet all weird. I should have pivoted this thing for longer because I think that's how we got it in there. Actually, when we got it in there, it was me and another individual lifting it, so that would explain things. Um, I don't know, are all these stuffed animals adding weight? Technically speaking, all the shit that's on top of it, it could add up to a little bit of stuff. Like what about this cat keyboard? Is this heavy? I got the classic cat keyboard. I'll play you a couple notes, you know? Turn it on. Meow. Is this picking up on mic? Probably too loud. What's one song I know? Watch this. And that's all I know. Sorry. I'm kidding. I might be able to obtain more, but it's been a long time. I don't remember every single note of that song, or I was gonna say how the piano works. I remember how the piano works. And all the notes are across the top, but yeah, back in the day I was in orchestra class for a couple years, mayhaps even a few years, I don't remember. Um, Back in like middle school. So I think it was basically 2 years, maybe two and a half. Um, Playing the viola, shout out viola players. Was sick as hell. Um, and I get within the community, granted, the only exposure to the community I've had is being subscribed to Two Set Violin because I was like, hey, these guys are pretty funny. And in classical music and stuff. And then I have since unsubscribed. Sorry, Two Set Violin. Um, I don't know, I just sort of grew out of it kinda, or something. It just stopped being as interesting to me. And then why am I saying that? Oh, viola players are kind of they get clowned on, bro, because they're um I don't remember all the stereotypes or stigmas or whatever, but the basically it's sick as hell is what I'm saying. I'm here defending the viola with nowhere to stand on because I played it for 2 years in middle school, but I was decent at it, you know? One time I missed a concert thing and then I had to go in and play the pieces to show the teacher I was good at it. And then she was like, "That was good. You should have been there. We could have used that, you know? That would have been good for us. But then, I don't know, why am I saying this? Because that was pretty decent, and viola's sick as hell because it's like violin, but it's not shrill and annoying and pretentious and stupid. No, I'm kidding. Um, but it's like violin, but it's deeper, you know? Because I don't want to haul around a big ass cello or freaking double bass. That thing's fucking massive, bro. I don't want to haul that around, but I prefer deeper sounds, darker sounds. And so I enjoyed the viola. And violin legit is like too high pitched for me. Even when I'm listening to classical music and there's like a violin solo and it starts getting real high, I'm like, this is like legitimately no offense, but also offense to violin players. It's just like is actually kind of annoying to me. Um, so I do prefer viola and cello and all those stringed instruments. And I've used some of those what? I've used some of those stringed instruments in my little YouTube videos because I'm like, oh, I need spooky vibes. Let us visit freesound.org and find a little cello thing. Um, Mayhaps I've only used the little cello thing. I don't remember what sound effects I have on my drive because it's a big ass fucking drive and there's so many sound effects on it at this point. Um, and I should maybe like back it up somehow because if I lost that, I would lose a considerable chunk of my will to live, honestly. Um, that's a joke. No one listen to that. But um, what am I saying? It would certainly be a problem if if I lost all those sound effects and things, because as I just said, I don't remember most of them. Like, where would I even start? I mean, well, actually, I do know where I would start. I would download the Vine Boom again, because that's the main sound effect. As a YouTuber, that's your first step. Don't like watch tutorials, don't download OBS, even don't do anything before you download vineboom.mp3, you know? That needs to exist on your computer somewhere. Vineboom.mp3. I know I joked a little bit ago, but about this being actually just desk moving stream, but it's heavy, dude. And I'm yapping, and I can't like yap and drag this at the same time. Or can I? Maybe I try. My muscles and my brain doesn't need oxygen. I'll just take a few deep breaths right now. Watch this deep breaths with me. Like inhale for 4 seconds, and then hold for 4 seconds. Was that 4 seconds? I don't know. And then exhale for 4 seconds. And then do that more times because I don't want to keep saying that. And I actually wasn't even counting at all. But basically, I want to take a few deep breaths and mayhaps hydrate slightly. I don't actually have any water with me, but I got some fruit punch Arizona, which I sometimes I feel like, oh, this is kind of healthy. It's full of fruit juice and things like that. And then I remember it's Arizona, and I'm looking at the ingredients, and it's basically nothing other than sugar. Like fully, there's nothing going on here. I mean, it's got potassium and vitamin C. That's pretty cool. Other than that, it's just 52 grams of sugar. And 52 is my favorite number, you know? And I forgot I owned this belt that's in here, in this little drawer that I took out. It's a cool freaking belt. Mayhaps the most alternative thing that I own, because it's like kind of a leather belt, but um there's like chains as well. Very cool stuff. Am I legit fucking up this carpet by dragging it this way? No? What is on the floor here? Let me go obtain my flashlight, except not, because my phone's right here, and I don't want to climb over all this stuff that I put in my way. So it looks like there's someone on the floor here. Dude, I just collided with the spider web, I think. That was horrifying. Um, and I keep feeling the microphone brush up against my facial hair, which I didn't anticipate. And now I might just be paranoid, or is there just shit floating around the room now? Because I um I felt something on my leg and I'm like, what is happening? And you know what, gamers? This was actually this like feeling of being like, what is touching me right now? This was the origin story, if you will, for the viral meme that I uploaded at the beginning of this year, titled um Why Are There Bugs on Me? Very legendary fucking meme and little TikTok thing. So go find that if you want to, I guess. And it was supposed to go viral, and it actually didn't in the slightest, which is kind of unfortunate and annoying. And sometimes I'm like, how does virality slash algorithms even work? Because I did upload that stupid little Fortnite video earlier, and I got comments from Crone and and Cass and Monty, and I commented a few times, um and my YouTube videos have just been good recently. And you know what it is? It's actually the thumbnail because it kind of sucks. But other than that, I'm like, I felt like I was building up momentum, and the algorithm was like acknowledging the fact that I exist even. And I haven't been uploading videos straight to the void for a while, except maybe kind of. I don't know. A random VOD got 1.3 thousand views, and suddenly I'm like, I'm gonna be rich and famous, and it ended up not happening. But what am I saying? Yes, Fortnite. Wait, why was I talking about that? I was talking about, oh yeah, it got comments, it got stuff and things, and I'm pretty sure it got like 8 views, which legit might have just been Crone and Cass and Monty, and then me watching it a few times, right? Because that's 3. I watched it at least. I actually don't even know. I think I accidentally clicked on it a couple times. Um, and then I also had to watch it on my personal account because epic, epic views moments, you know? When my videos start getting 1.3 thousand every single time and it's actually like deserving of it, then I will maybe stop using my personal account to watch my own videos. But until that day happens, I will try my absolute hardest to send it out past the void, you know? Because that would be cool and awesome. I also forgot I was gonna put like text and shit on screen being like, this is what we're doing. Um, let's do that, dude. Because that could be fun and silly, and also someone appeared, the viewers went from 1 to 2 for actually a little while, and I was like, is this in fact somebody that I know? Have they popped in the stream and they're about to say hey? I think I need to stop doing that. That's like paranoid of me to do um because that's weird, and if it is someone that I know, that's like kind of strange to be doing to them. Oops. Hang on, I shouldn't do that. I should wait, what am I'm supposed to be doing stuff in OBS. Um okay. What am I doing? Adding a some sort of text? Should it be cool and awesome? Like, what are we naming it? Disk stream. Bro, what the fuck is happening? Select font? Oh, I forgot how weird this is. What is this? Is this cool? Um, this is horrible. Why is this not massive? This is a horrible font. Hang on. Font searching stream? What is this? Can I just get something that's like big and more normal looking? Bitch, what the fuck is this sample? Like zoom out or something. I made the window bigger and it did not help in the slightest. What about Broadway? Is that a good font? This font sucks ass. Um, so you can like see this right now. Desk moving stream. This song is sick as hell. Um, text transform. I don't need to be adjusting this stuff. It can just be white, okay? Desk moving stream. I was removing the desk right now. Yeah, okay. Actually, I was gonna do some sort of weird elaborate um text stuff that is like, bro, can I like, I don't know, that's good. Um, that was that like correlated to the photo that's on screen right now, and I was gonna put little arrows and be like, oh, this is what we're doing right now because it there's like there isn't any visual, and so I was like, oh, let me what am I saying? Let me look. Hang on. Um, let me make it as easy as I can for people to understand what's going on because you can't understand what's going on due to shit being weird and strange, you know? Link? Man, I'm opening Ronnie's stream right now so I can be a lurker in Ronnie's stream. Rutabaga, go watch Ronnie's stream. I'm being horrified right now by my own shadow because it's like in the corner of my eye. My arm, my arm shadow is like, this is unimportant, but it was like going behind my bed in a weird way that looked like it wasn't my shadow. Um, so it was pretty spooky. And living in a slightly spooky basement, sometimes it's actually not that spooky and doesn't really seem like a basement most of the time. Um, but living under the ground is sometimes a little bit spooky, and you do in fact get spooked by your shadow sometimes. At least I do, my dumb ass. What am I doing? I need to move more of this stuff out of the way, like properly out of the way. I need more room to move other stupid shit into the way, you know? Damn it. Do I move my microphone down slightly? Because I feel like I keep smacking it with my facial hair, which actually is longer than I thought it was, apparently. I don't know. Trying to lift properly, and I'm actually not even doing that. I don't know why I said I'm trying to lift properly, because I did not have it in my brain at all, and I kind of just lifted incorrectly. But who lifts stuff correctly? I've got a sweet little treat right here, gamers. You know? I'm eating a no-bake cookie right now. So, take care of yourselves. Make yourself a no-bake cookie. Hoping this mic can't pick up any sort of eating sounds right now. That would be a little bit of a problem. you know? Man, why did I say you know? I paused and I could have just been thinking and saying stuff, but I simply had to, you know? What? That was an accident, dude. I just said you know again. Damn, this sucks. The curse of speaking in catchphrases like an idiot. So annoying. But Dodie song, which one is this? Dude, not for lack of trying. This is the title track of the album, I think. I need to listen to this album more. I think the whole thing is in my playlist, which is weird. I kind of forgot about this album, sadly. I must have buried it real quick with some other album. Maybe Joe? Not Joe. I don't even know. What other albums have I been listening to? But yeah, we're moving the desk. Have I overestimated my powers and my ability to move things? Because I'm also realizing that I have to move my bed as well. And I was like, I'm fairly strong. I could probably just shimmy some stuff around, figure something out. Um, but you know what? I'm gonna choose to believe that it is this desk because it is old and probably this is like very solid wood here. I would knock on it, but there's dogs sleeping in the room above me, and I'm afraid their hearing might be pretty good, and I actually would freak the fuck out of them. Except they don't actually bark that much at night. You know, they're kind of just out for the count, as they say. Um, and so because I'm a creature of the night, and I do be creeping around in pitch black darkness. So spooky for anyone who for any unfortunate soul who decides they like need to pee in the middle of the night, but very cool for me because I don't need to use my eyeballs or anything like that. I can just sort of memorize the layout of the house and walk around and do things. And even get water, you know, which isn't like 100% good all the time, but I just sort of trust my gut, and usually I end up with a pretty full glass of water. I'll be filling it up and like listening to it and trying to decide how long it's been because I'm always filling up my glass of water in the morning with my eyeballs. And so I'm like, I've done this so many times before, I can do it without even seeing, right? But sometimes it's like less than halfway, and I'm like, oh, I really fucked that up. I don't think it's ever less than halfway, but it's like sometimes it's only a little bit more than halfway. This is unimportant. What is happening? Oh, never mind. I thought I got a notification on my phone from Twitch, and I was like, it looked like a notification, one of the ones where it's like, oh, your stream summary is ready. And I'm like, I'm still streaming, but it was a different thing. Is that important? I understand I talk about things a lot of the time that make sense to me, but probably don't make sense to any person at all if you're like a normie or even normie adjacent, honestly. Um, because I saw this clip of Markiplier talking about Iron Lung and talking about how he built a render farm, which I already knew because I have a very um crazy, insane parasocial relationship with honestly every single individual on the internet, but also especially Markiplier because I've been watching him for years and whatever stuff like that. Why am I saying this? Because I already knew he built a render farm. I already knew most of the details about that, but specifically in that clip, I was able to like acknowledge and be like, oh, he's like he kind of is talking about stuff like people get what he's saying. And actually, I don't think it was about the render farm, but he said a certain sentence and the way he like worded it. I was like, Is this what I do every single time I talk about anything at all? 'Cause I'm always talking about OBS, and it's annoying and confusing, and there's filters and audio stuff and checking the levels of things. And I guess sometimes the point of that is that it is confusing and doesn't make any sense. Because that's kind of how I feel, even though I do understand it slightly. At least more than most people, I'm assuming. Most definitely, actually. Yeah, stuff and things. Is my bed even light enough to move? Because, oh, and I'm also realizing that the bed is going to be significantly harder to pivot in a weird janky way because it's a whole ass bed, you know? I don't know if I necessarily considered that. Oh, but you know what I just realized? A bed frame, whilst taking up much room inside of a room, it is it's actually really light. It's just the shit that you stack on top of it that's pretty heavy. So I could just sort of prop those up, the bed and the box frame somewhere real quick. And then low key I can just pick the whole thing up like one-handed. Freaking like Superman or I was gonna say Popeye style. Does Popeye do that? I think, right? I don't know. Classic lifting something up with one hand, you know? Like Superman does that, right? Picks up cars, lifts it up with one hand, drops it directly back onto the same person. I don't know. That didn't make sense, the sentences that I just said, because I had a certain image in my head, and I didn't establish the fact that he was saving a person by lifting that car with one hand. Maybe you get it, you know? That's a very um done to death thing, I think. But also, let's fucking go, dude. I love this song. Um, Downwinks posted about this album the other day. Maybe not the other day at this point, but a little while ago. He was like, "Is it in fact um better a year later? This album?" I was like, "Shit, this came out a year later or a year ago? Did it? I don't think it did. I feel like it was longer ago, was it not? There's no way it's been 1 year, right?" So I felt like this album came out like kind of when I moved here, and then because I was listening to it a lot and it was still my surroundings still felt new and these songs were sort of imbued with that like unfamiliar slash weirdly familiar feeling, you know? Because you know what, gamers? I'm gonna give you some personal lore here because I was thinking in my brain, I was like, how do I say a certain thing in some weird ways that end up not doxing me? But then I was like, I think stuff when you have zero information is a lot harder to figure out than I think it is. So no one's gonna know where I live, you know? But moving here was very fascinating because I was born in Utah and I grew up in Utah mostly, which I've said on the internet. That's not the reveal lore thing, but um, yeah, I grew up there mostly, but I have a lot of family where I live now, and um, due to me like living in my mom's basement and all that, you know, this is where my mom and all her family live, and also my dad's family. I'm pretty sure they're both like from here, and it was actually um, their story's like kind of beautiful and cliche and cool if you omit the fact that my dad's like not the greatest person and they're separated now. But the what am I saying? This is all a lot more personal than I thought it would be. But moving here was interesting because I didn't think I would like it at first. I kind of hated the idea, in fact. And then slowly leading up to moving here, I was um realizing that it was everything that I wanted in a new place to live because I was sort of like, um, okay, now I do need to dance around a little bit of personal lore, but um, I knew that I was going to be moving soon, but I didn't really know where to. And I was thinking of things that I like personally, because I was like becoming a real person with thoughts and opinions and things like that. And I was like, where realistically, like, what kind of environment do I want to live in? What is my natural habitat, if you will? And I was like, love me some freaking trees, bro. The absolute vibe of sitting in some shade in the grass under a tree, you know? And also just having trees around, looking at trees. Very cool, very awesome. So I was like, I would like that, and I would like shit to be colder than it is because every time it becomes summer, I'm like, oh shit, my skin is melting off. And even in winter, I'm like, I want to wear a bunch of layers and like be cute or whatever. And and that I don't I guess it was kind of cold in Utah occasionally, every once in a while, you know. And I didn't really like living in Utah actually. But the thing is, I don't know if I ever lived in Utah necessarily. I lived in my room, you know, indoors mostly. I wasn't like experiencing Utah in any sort of way. And then when I moved here, I forgot that this low-key the environment of I almost just said where I live. Oh my God. That was insane. I'm fully just yapping here. I almost said dox myself. It's not doxing. It's like it's a whole ass state. Like come find me in I was gonna say a random state, but I'm like, I don't know if I even want to rule out one state. I could have been like, come find me in Florida, because I don't think I would ever live in Florida, because it's humid and hot and spooky or whatever. I don't know. Every time I hear about it, I'm like, I don't think I would ever live there. Or even like California, something like that. Seems way too fucking hot there. If you notice, I dislike the heat very much. But yeah, living here, I didn't realize that this was somewhat my whole childhood. Because my childhood was spent um, exclusively playing video games and then going to school because that was mandatory. But I would have played video games and ate food and slept, which I acknowledge is like that weird, cringy, like meme thing that's on like TV shirts and posters or whatever. It's like eat, sleep, play games or whatever. I just said or whatever twice, but I would have done that because I technically kind of didn't have a childhood, but occasionally we would come here where I live now and visit cousins and things, and we were a lot closer when we were children, and we would run around and play outside and things like that. Kids don't do that anymore. Kind of crazy. I freaking love this song, dude. I want to listen to this whole ass album now. You know? This is what happens after you become like an album person is every song that comes up that is from an album that you remember um listening to on repeat every single day for an extended period of time. Um every time that happens, you're like, fuck, I want to listen to this album on repeat forever again. So that's kind of what's going on now. Here, let's move this desk a couple inches again. Whoa, that was like I like used my arms there, and it actually moved quite a bit. That's crazy. But hang on, I gotta listen to this song for a second. I'm gonna hydrate. I just consumed the rest of my Arizona. Oops. Touch the mic a little bit. I don't know if that picks up at all. It might. I don't think it does at all. Like at all somehow. Because I literally just um like rub the mic a little bit. Or I guess it might pick up a little bit, but VideoTube Mini doesn't acknowledge that as a loud enough sound to make my stupid little PNG tuber do things because I was um what am I saying? I was just looking at my little phone here to be like, is this a problem that I keep brushing against the mic kind of? But it seems like it's not. But I wasn't looking at it when I was chugging that Arizona, so there could have been a little swallow sound or something. So you're welcome is what I was gonna say. I don't know why I was gonna say that. I guess anyone coming back into the archives could in fact be um wanting to listen to me swallow into the microphone. I don't know where that sentence was going, but I guess that's yeah, that's true, you know? Which could be spooky to think about. I think about that sometimes when I'm watching um just various famous people talk about being famous. Um I guess they don't have to be super famous, but like just any like known influencer, if you will. I don't know. But I'm like, if I do in fact become rich and famous and it isn't just a stupid little joke, um, that's such a bizarre concept that someone could be like, I don't know, but like many different aspects of me, because I do acknowledge that I am in fact cringe, at least to me, you know? Um, Phone commented on my Instagram the other day, was like, cringe is dead, you know? Because I was being self-deprecating and being like, oh, I'm cringe or whatever. Hang on, I have to sneeze. Oh my God, I just remembered. It might pick up on this mic because I turned off all the filters, except it probably won't. Because I think I've tried that before, and um, like Microsoft at one point added some lame microphone bullshit that's just on by default. So I could turn that off, but it might make the microphone scary and spooky. Which is weird that they have that because some microphones just sort of also have that, which kind of stacks and is annoying. I don't know. What am I saying? Oh, I forgot. I'd never finished talking about the thing before this, but let's continue to saying rich and famous. Um, I don't know. I guess it's just weird that people could, in fact, love me in many different aspects, which is, I already said that. But usually I'm like, oh, I'm cringe, but sometimes I say a funny little thing. Sometimes I make a couple jokes that I like. And it's weird because I guess I'm also on the other side of it, you know? As I was just saying, being parasocial about Markiplier, Iron Lung is the greatest movie I've ever seen. Legitimately though, like zooming out a little bit and looking at it, um, not as a Markiplier fan, it's truly a really, really exciting film. You know, the fact that something like that exists and it's a lot more slow paced and different and all that stuff. There's tape stuck to me. I gotta turn this heater on, which maybe might be a bad idea, but it's also on the other side of my room. Um, but it's getting a little bit more normal temperature in here, which isn't good because as I've said, I'm underground and also there's no like vents in my room, so I don't obtain the benefit of the heater that heats up the house that everyone else gets, you know? I just get my little space heater. When people would say space heater, I thought that meant like I thought it was like some sort of brand or term that like meant something, and I was thinking weirdly I was thinking like space, like outer space. And I was like, why is it called a space heater? What does that mean? Is there some sort of weird um technology question mark inside of it? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I wasn't thinking the fact that they could just mean like it heats up a space, like a room or something. And when I realized that, that was like semi-recently, which is slightly embarrassing, but um, I did realize that, and I'm like, oh, fascinating. Or maybe not, because I actually don't even remember if I looked that up or anything. If I was like, wait, is this what this means? But it's a possibility that now is that exists in my brain. Because before it was just like a mysterious thing that people said. Dude, I fucking love this song. Dude, let's go. It's like 5 minutes long. There's like two halves to it. Phineas is a genius or whatever. Not to discredit all the other people who did this, because I know this album was like somewhat iconically, at least if you watch as many interviews with Phineas and Billie Eilish and whatever, if you're as parasocial as me and you watch interviews of a bunch of people, um, and yeah, this was pretty. I wanted to find a different word other than iconically, and I wanted to say starkly, which is a different word. That's like stark, as in like obvious, or I don't know. Don't ask me to try to define words that I know because I'm probably using some of them slightly wrong, which is okay because English is weird, and it's actually like a metaphor, kind of, or something like that. Um, because like every time I look up the word ancillary, because I'm like, this is a word that I can use in this context, right? And then I look it up and I'm like, that sounds completely incorrect. Also, people use it in the way I'm trying to use it. So it's like kind of metaphorical-esque. Because legitimately, if you look it up, never mind. But look up the word ancillary. It's spelled not the way you think it would be. But what the fuck was I even saying? Being parasocial, watching interviews. Phineas did this album as sort of a band with his friends and whatnot. And they just went into the studio for like a few weeks and they made all these songs. Pretty freaking crazy. Owie? Ow. Ew, what the fuck? At this point, my fingers are slightly hurting. We are now, I would say we're technically now in the corner that this is supposed to go in. I mean, not actually. The desk is still sort of at the foot of my bed a little bit. At least one end of it is, but the other end is nearing this other um dresser that's against the wall, this gray dresser. Wow, just stubbed my toe slightly. So I'd say we're at least in the right quadrant of the room, you know? And now I just yanked it. Loki, I'm in the corner now. Bit of a weird sentence, but let's backtrack to things that I wanted to say. Being rich and famous, very fascinating, you know? And I always feel the need to elaborate on this because it is a funny little bit. But sometimes it's not a funny little bit because I always feel like I don't articulate this in the right way, and I don't want people to um be like, "Oh, actually, he's a narcissist and a piece of shit, and I hate him because of whatever." But the um, I've said this a couple times, but I'm such a logical person, and objectively looking at things, this is horrible to say, but I'm objectively an important person, you know, in the grand scheme of things. Um, if you think about it, well, I guess in the way I'm thinking about it, you could argue that anyone is an important person. I guess everyone is an important person, you know. So you watching this right now, gamer, you're an important person. Not as important as me. No, I'm kidding. Um, but okay. I was looking at my PNG tuber and it kind of stopped moving, and I was like, "Is my microphone dying? Is it? It's on. It's connected. I don't know if I should be like touching it and moving it around, but let's clip this back to my shirt. Maybe not talk directly into it because I did not prepare OBS for that. Although I kind of did. No, not before I started messing with it, but Yeah, I look at things objectively, and I believe I was thinking of this way of saying things because this seems a little bit more accurate earlier today, but um I feel like it's a guarantee that I will at least be known among some people. Like, I'll build my stupid little community. Um, the way I said that sentence made it sound like I was calling my community stupid, but they're not. Even though they're not like here yet, I'm streaming this to one viewer. Unless you count Cronin, Cass, and Monty, all them, they're not stupid. They're cool and interesting. Okay. Something happened in the corner of my eye, and I was like, yes, dude, is someone here right now and chatting? Right when I was being like self-deprecating slightly, but it's a bot. Shut up, bot. You know? Best viewers. I actually didn't even read it this time, so I don't know if it said best viewers or cheap viewers or whatever it says. Whatever all the other ones are. But what am I saying? Um, it feels like a guarantee that I will be known, but because I because I feel like this story and the lore of the YouTube channel is interesting. And also the fact that people say my YouTube videos are funny and I think they're funny. I think they're good, I think they're funny, which means over time it will collect an audience. We've got 53 subscribers right now, even though that random VOD that was kind of boring and um was significantly less effort than YouTube videos that are edited and whatnot. That random VOD that got 1.3 thousand views. That gave me 10 whole subscribers. And 10 doesn't seem like a lot, but 10 people, I don't think I know 10 people in real life. That's technically not true. Not counting my family, I know 0 people. So 10 is a lot of people. If 10 random people approached me, I would be like, oh, am I gonna get beat up? I don't know. That's kind of where my mind went because like 10 people, that's like enough people to surround you. If you're by yourself, that could be kind of spooky. If 10 people randomly, you're like, this is a group of people. Um, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but currently at this stage, 10 people, 10 subscribers is a lot, you know? And I got 53. That's many subscribers. Oh my God, I actually just injured myself. Not really, but I kind of pulled the desk directly into my big toe, kind of, and like at an angle, so it was I'm thinking about it and I'm like, how did I hit my big toe right there? Owie, it kind of hurts. So that sucks. And now I have no more hydration liquid because I drank all my Arizona. I got water before this. I was like, oh, I should get water for stream earlier, and then I think I just forgot. Um, and I was gonna say which isn't a symptom of anything, but I think people are allowed to forget. Granted, earlier today I was like, oh, I'm gonna make an Instagram post and make a text post and all that stuff. Do all the consistent things that I'm supposed to do every day. And um, and it took me like 7 whole hours, a little bit more than 7 hours, but I didn't want to put the exact amount in a stupid little text post that I made because I'm like, this is lame and stupid, but or unimportant. But it took so long because I was getting distracted from doing random bullshit and playing an unfortunate amount of the new Subway Surfers game. Um, yeah, pretty freaking crazy. I've been playing that game like crazy. Shit, I just said crazy twice. But Joe, this is a cool song, right? Which one is this? Yo, this is the one. This is End of Beginning. I kind of get mad when artists blow up for a certain thing. Or I guess this is just, never mind. If you're like a big artist, you're gonna have songs that people like more than other songs, but like Of course, this song blew up and was insane. The song went viral, but like, I had this whole album on my playlist before that happened, which is in fact a flex, you know? I knew Joe before he was cool. I was listening to his music, and like this whole album is so fucking good. And the fact that this song has like millions of views or whatever it is, um, I honestly can't even see it from here. Does it say it's got 980,000 likes at least? Oh, it says 124 million views on stream right now. Um, not like viewers on stream. I mean, you can see that number on stream, but 124 million views on this silly little thing, and this is YouTube Music. So on Spotify, it probably is like hundreds of millions of plays on this song specifically, and significantly less on the rest of the album, kinda. Granted, there's still big numbers on the rest of this album, but it's like the fact that people just listen to this song so many times, and the rest of the album is maybe slept on by many people. Even though it's so good. This is such a damn good album. And who would have guessed it? I want to listen to the whole damn thing again. But let's start pivoting this freaking desk in the opposite direction. You know, we're doing the 360 right now. Because I pivoted it so that I could, so it was, I'm not going to try to explain this. It was 90 degrees from where it is now, from the picture you can see, and I was pulling it. You know, the side with the owl on it in this picture, that was the side that was facing the opposite wall, and I was pulling that to get it where that mirror was, you know? Does this make any sense? We've been here for 1.5 hours? That feels crazy. I just remembered I have a $1 coin. That's sick as hell. I'm looking at it because it's on my desk right now. Um, and I got rid of all my coins that I own, which is crazy to me. I've been collecting those for years, like unironically, since I was a little teeny tiny boy. Legitimately, some of those might have been from when I was like 10, and now they're all gone. Except for my 4 quarters, you know? I gotta keep those in my wallet in case I find a cool little machine where I'm like, oh, I need to purchase a bouncy ball or something. And I was kind of like, oh, I will eventually obtain more coins, which I guess is kind of true. But I was like, oh, you pay for stuff, and then usually they give you a bunch of change. So I'm gonna get some money. You know, I'm gonna get my coins back. And I fucking love this song. But if I have no coins and not that much cash, like you have to pay for cash for them to give you coins. Because if you do it with your card, it's just an exact payment. I guess you can ask for cash back at places, but sometimes there's a fee, which is annoying. But then I'm like, oh, but I will um oh shit. Um I will in fact be paying for more stuff with cash eventually, you know? Imagine going to a rent fair or something, you know? There's always some cool shit there to be purchasing. And sometimes they only have to take cash, but sometimes they don't. I feel like a lot of places that would otherwise have cash, you know, usually if it's just like a vendor kind of situation where someone just has like a stand with um trinkets or art or whatever, any sort of event, usually they would have been like, we only take cash. But nowadays you got those silly little things that you can like plug into your phone or something, and then you can swipe cards on it. So that's kind of sick. I don't know if I like this song that much. I'm skipping it. Sorry, gamers. Sorry, people who made that song. Couldn't read it in time. Bro, what? Hang on. Um, one time I was like, yo, what happened to Kaylee Morg? She hasn't made a new song. She hasn't posted much in ages. And so I looked it up, and apparently she's a horrible person. So that's cool. Thanks for being a bad person, bro. I hate you. I literally loved all this music, I'm removing the song from my playlist and from the queue because at first I was like, these are such bangers. And she fully just disappeared from the internet. And I was like, oh, mayhaps there's a small chance this can be one of those situations where you can separate the art from the artist. But then I was like, every single time one of these songs come on, I'm like, oh, she's a bad person. And I don't want to listen to this. And so, a bit unfortunate that that was still on my playlist, but I guess if you didn't know and you have Kaylee Morg songs on your playlist, mayhaps remove them if you want. Unless you can separate the art from the artist better than I can, because it's not something I can do. I'm using not good form in the slightest. I just lifted one of my legs. Um, which I guess isn't horrible form because I did still need to um and I was kind of like using my body weight to move it a little bit. So I was like leaning slightly strange and sort of um what's it called? Like using leverage and whatnot. I need to not say and whatnot every single whatever every sentence. Every sentence and whatnot. So what should I even say? What should I talk about? Let me go back because there were two things that I was talking about that I wanted to. I was talking about being rich and famous, which I think I kind of talked about. Did I? I said community. I'm gonna build my community. Stuff seems interesting enough because my YouTube videos are funny. I think they're funny. I'm proud of them. So over time, I will build that out and also the lore, which people might not even care about if I do it incorrectly, I think. Or if people just also don't care about it. I don't know. Um, I think it's cool. I think it's interesting, you know? Fun little story. And it's actually not a fun little story if you're from the distant future and you know the story and you're seeing me being like, "Oh, it's a fun little story." This isn't me being like this isn't me not knowing all of it yet. This is me just being an idiot and calling it a fun little story even though it's like depressing and weird or whatever and whatnot, if you will. But the other thing that I wanted to go back to, this was a long time ago, talking about moving to where I live now. I almost said where I live again this time as well. I don't, what am I saying? Um, but yeah, growing up in Utah with zero life whatsoever, and I just sort of existed in my room. It feels I don't have the same sort of connection to the environment of Utah. You know, every time I think about Utah, it's just the people that live there. And I'm like, I guess I could say this. I'm like, I already say occasionally that I dislike my father, and he lives there, and I lived with him for a while. And um, I usually just think of that, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. This is boring, and not boring, but that's the wrong word. But negative adjectives, you know? And what am I saying? That's what that place is, and it wasn't. I'm just listening to this song because it's cool. But um, what am I actually saying? I'm saying the environment wasn't distinct. Like legitimately, it was just cities, you know? It was like decently sized cities because Utah has grown like a lot, and it's kind of big now. It's kind of insane. And so, not that I knew it before then, I was kind of born maybe when I was a wee lad, it wasn't as massive, but at the point where I was like properly forming memories and like becoming a person, it was already like pretty decently sized. So that's kind of unimportant. But it wasn't distinct enough. It was kind of just like there were stores and buildings and city, and there weren't enough trees, which is why I was like, oh, I need to move somewhere where there's more trees. Um, truly, I love trees, and I love the thing about Utah is I absolutely love the nature of Utah more than where I live now, kind of, because of the mountains mostly and stuff like that. I remember one time we were driving through Utah, like semi recently, which maybe I shouldn't have said, but we were doing that, and um, it was like raining in a way that was like misty, sort of, also raining, and we were driving through a mountain, and there were like trees that were super green, and of course all the clouds in the sky, and it was beautiful, dude. And there were never mind, there were like fully like God rays happening, dude. It looked like a movie or a video game. It was insane. The way the sun was coming through the clouds with all the rain and the fog and shit, and it was fully like God rays, like a game dev like sculpted that shit out and placed it there. That shit was insane. And it was still that's what I think about now also when I think of Utah, you know? If I ever actually do become super rich and famous to where I could purchase a second house, that would be crazy. But I would mayhaps purchase one in Utah um in nature, you know? Mayhaps obtain a wife and we can be cottagecore lesbians together. That's what I was gonna say, but I guess that's not I'm not a lesbian. But the um we could do that basically, you know, in Utah, the nature of Utah. Why am I saying this? Because the environment wasn't distinct, but where I am now, it's there's like all the specific birds chirping, you know, even that ancillary sounds. Would you look at that? Me using that word from earlier. But um yeah, these ancillary sounds that I didn't even know that I remembered as much and like I didn't know this place had nostalgia until I came back to it, which is insane. You know, that's a cool little concept there. And the birds and the trees and the way like the air smells or something. It was when came back here, I was like, this is crazy because like several weeks ago, I didn't think I wanted to live here at all at the time of moving here. That's what I meant. So I went from being like, I feel like I'm gonna hate moving here and I'm gonna have to like obtain a job and move back to Utah or something. Um, which I forgot about that. That happened pretty quick after moving here. I was like, oh wait, I think I actually just want to move somewhere else here that is a little bit of a bigger city. And the more I go there, the more I'm like, oh wait, this might actually be a lot bigger of a city, and I'm gonna die in a car crash here. But what am I saying? Yeah, car crash. Loki, I almost did die in a car crash. Not die in a car crash. We were going too slow to die, but people suck at driving, dude. And I'm like trying to get into this lane so I can turn into a little parking lot of a grocery store, if you will. I love this song. This is one of those songs that you can like bounce and gyrate to, you know? I'm the only one who knows this, but VOD watchers, look this song up, right? You can see what it's called. Give My Heart by Junior Varsity. Listen to this shit, dude. Absolutely legendary song. It's such a vibe. And what was I saying? Almost just said where I live again. I need to not do that. What was I? I was just, I didn't even finish this stupid little side anecdote thing. Um, I was turning to go into this little parking lot and someone else was turning to get back onto this main road thing that I was on. Um, and they were like, "Let me go now." actually, and it's like one of those like middle lane, like yellow lined things. I don't know. Is this confusing to anyone? Probably. Probably everyone. Does this make sense to anyone is probably the better question to ask. But I was getting in that middle lane thing so that you could turn into places. And they were leaving kind of, I don't know, but they were like, I'm gonna get back onto the road and also enter the main road. And they almost fucking hit me and they like went right in front of me and I was like kind of already getting over into that thing and then I was like, dude, what? So I had to get back over, but I didn't even look if the person behind me was paying attention and like was gonna hit me. I just sort of got back over because I was like halfway in between these two lanes. Um, and then they might have noticed that they were being an idiot and then they were slowing down, or maybe they were also just doing that so that they could get out of that weird little lane and get onto the road. If you don't know driving, this doesn't make sense, and if you do know driving, this maybe might make sense. But basically, I almost rear-ended them, kind of a little bit, and I guess they almost didn't hit me. I almost hit them, but they're stupid, you know? Maybe not. They're stupid. I do stupid shit all the time, you know? It's just like when you start driving, you realize that you have a double standard for yourself or for other people or whatever, however you use that term. Yo, I fucking love this song. This is who was this by? Will Joseph Cook. Oh, I was thinking I'd listen to more songs by him, but oh, was it the previous song from IDK How? Not previous song, but the that song Sunnyside by IDK How. Will Joseph Cook is feature credited somehow. I don't remember, but I don't. Is he actually like singing in that song? Because I didn't, I don't ever notice it. Um, I don't know. I also got recommended this song probably because of that other IDK House song that has Will Joseph Cook on it, maybe, or maybe he's just did lots of instrumentation and stuff or something. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those situations where you're like, oh, these two artists, their voices are similar enough to where when I don't know one of them, the feature, then it kind of just sounds like the same person. Which, and this kind of isn't the case, but for this song that I'm about to talk about, but the song Wet Like by Ash Nico featuring Cobra. Um, I never acknowledged that there was a feature and that she like fully has her own verse and stuff. I was just like, oh wow, Ash Nico's voice sounds so cool here. Um, because I'm an idiot. But then I started getting recommended Cobra songs, and I was like, yo, this artist is sick as hell. And then I was like, I feel like I've heard this name somewhere. And then I was like, wait, it's featuring Cobra. I've seen that. Ash Nico's album. Um, and then I listened to it and I was like, that is Cobra in that whole part of the song, you know? Whole ass different voice that doesn't sound that much like Ash Nico at all. How the fuck am I gonna get this desk in here? Because it's like weird to pivot at this point because it's too into the corner now. Wait, I'm doing something. I'm doing something. Okay. I've discovered I can like lift the back kind of from the front and then push it forward with my leg a little bit, which my spine and other joints probably wouldn't appreciate, but that's kind of what I'm deciding to do here, you know? I'm sort of tilting it back onto me, I guess. Yeah, that's sort of what's happening. And this is maybe not going the greatest right now. Well, this is the heavy side. I don't know if this is going to work that well over here. Well, this side I might be able to lift and be normal. And okay, okay. Some insane progress on that side. No one can see what's happening right now. Um, oh, baby, no money. I was talking about him earlier. Currently bobbing my head to baby, no money. Mayhaps doing a little jig. I joke about doing a little jig and gyrating and whatnot, but legitimately, when I'm by myself in my room here, as I often am, creature of the night, um, living underground, I don't know, but I'm just here in my room by myself. And as I am often, and low-key, I just started dancing like an idiot in my room quite a few years ago. And sometimes I feel like I'm good at dancing, which is actually not something I should be thinking because it's simply not true. Because like sometimes I think I'm good at singing and then I like record myself and I'm like, bro, what? This is actually, I'm tone deaf. I need to, I don't know, there's something wrong with me. Every time I hear myself sing, that's how I feel. Yeah, the way this sounds when I'm dragging it this way, it feels not the greatest. Oops, it's colliding with shit now. Um, this is somewhat of a problem. Maybe I just lift it normally. Oh, this is gonna be so bad for my back. It's okay, you can live with your back. It's like that episode of Regular Show. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Anyone at all? Maybe, probably not. That's an episode, right? Rigby joins that moving company. That's what it was. And it's like lift with your back or whatever. That's on their big old truck. And then he lifts with his back and he like gets abs on his back basically. That shit was crazy, dude. And then some shit probably exploded, right? That happens like every episode. I'm really hoping I'm not gonna crush my fingers here because I felt like I almost did, but I didn't. And we're basically here, gamers. It's like inches away. Maybe not inches, but it's like a foot away from the wall right now, where it's supposed to be. It's like nestled in the corner slightly. Dude, this is sick as hell. Looking at this is gonna be so good because I wanted to put this here because then all my trinkets are just sort of here where they're supposed to be. Not where they're supposed to be, but they're all sort of together more. Because this desk was all the way over here, or all the way over on the other side of my room, and now it'll be over here next to some other trinkets that are next to my PlayStation, and then on the other side of that little dresser, there's more trinkets. And low-key, we could maybe switch to the other little photo that I got going on. Maybe not, but I can go over here, take a slight little break, mayhaps, right? Um, oops, open Ronnie's stream, but let me claim this little bonus thing. Isn't that actually so that Twitch can be like, oh, is this an active viewer that's like paying attention? I don't know. What am I doing? Image 3 because you can see trinkets here. Look at that next to my TV. There's um Margaret and Jeremy. Jeremy's the fish, Margaret's the spooky um potentially haunted doll. Visibly it looks pretty haunted, but I don't know. And Lego flowers are right there too. But on the other side of that dresser, next to my PlayStation, you can see over there, you know? On the other side of that PlayStation is some of the trinkets. Well, I guess if you zoom in, you can see a little bit of the small ones that are near the edge. This is maybe unimportant. Let's go back over here because this does that make sense? I don't know. Um, it's 4:21. Legit, I might need to go to sleep soon. This actually has just been a desk moving stream, which I guess I should have expected. Sometimes it's a little bit unfortunate, but the fact that I become significantly less productive when I'm live streaming because I have to yap. Legitimately, I kind of like yapping because it's fun to get good at yapping and start saying sentences cool and like articulating stuff properly. Like earlier, I don't know if I articulated it properly, but I added a little bit of extra stuff to maybe make me seem less like an actual narcissist when I was like, "Oh, objectively, I'm important," which is the worst um example I could have thought of, but and I've already said that actually. But what I said is because I'm objective and and logical, and I'm like, it's a guarantee if I just continue making stuff and things that I would find a little community. And it is a guarantee, like legitimately. I know that maybe seems like an actual narcissistic, horrible thing to say, but many years ago, I decided that I would do this YouTube thing because I was like, oh, and I do remember I actually did say this on one stream. I was like trauma dumping and stuff, but um, the year that I was big sad and I was like, oh, I don't want to live anymore. You know, that happened, all that nonsense. I won't get too deep into it, but I came out of that with zero fear apparently, which I think I talked about somewhere. Um, but I kind of stopped being afraid of things randomly because I was like, why not? Wait, I didn't talk about this. I thought about talking about it, which is a crazy thing that happens often now. Um, Legit, I'm not afraid of things anymore, weirdly, because and I can say this because I'm from Utah, but shout out Lagoon, you know? Anyone who's from Utah who's been to Lagoon, it's this amusement park, spooky, scary rides. Let me pull up a picture of this. Oh, wait, what? I'm so afraid right now. I like covered my mirror. I passed by it and like light started happening weirdly, and I thought someone like opened my door or something and light was spilling in and I started freaking out. Um, what am I doing? Looking up Lagoon, because why the hell not? Um, and they have this newer ride that's actually horrifying. It's called the Cannibal, I'm pretty sure. Many people think it's called the Cannonball, but it's not. Um, Lagoon Park, Utah, because I looked up Lagoon on images and it didn't work. Is it a good picture? Open image in new tab. Horrible quality picture, but oh, this actually isn't gonna work. It's actually too bad of quality. Can I please get a higher quality? Oh, wait, this park has problems? Does it? Wait, for realsies? Oh shit, this is apparently a problem. Yo, Monopoly? I love Monopoly. What's going on with Lagoon? It said I was. Google Maps says temporarily closed. Legit? Okay, well, I guess not shout out Lagoon because it sucks, maybe? I don't know. Um, but let me steal this YouTuber's thumbnail real quick to talk about this ride. That's kind of horrifying, but But oops, you can just see Lagoon now when you should be saying Bad Bunny. I almost said something else, I think. I don't think I did. But yeah, Bad Bunny. That's not what I was talking about. But I went on that ride because I didn't. Did I have a will to live at that point? I don't remember. Um, but I just sort of stopped being afraid of things, and that even when my will to live came back in a big, massive way, and I'm actually never gonna die. I'm immortal now. Like truly, I'm unstoppable because of this lack of fear thing. But um, what the fuck am I saying? I went on that ride. I stopped being afraid of things, even though it's probably kind of a lie. Like actually, in practice, I'm a bit of a coward. Um, but not when it comes to doing things like that, which are like spooky scary. Not spooky scary, but also kind of spooky scary, but not not stuff that's like thrilling like that, like roller coasters and bungee jumping, I guess. Just like that. What is that stuff called? I don't remember. There's like a certain name for like bungee jumping and skydiving and all those sort of activities. Um, and I don't remember what the word is, but that stuff doesn't scare me anymore, even though I don't think I would have ever gone on that ride. Like, I was the kind of person to see that and be like, no way in hell. Like, what do you mean? But then I was like, actually, I don't even want to live, so sure, dude. If it kills me, thanks. Saves me a little bit of time. And that's super dark, I'm sorry. Um, don't think that way, gamers. It's not good. You know? As I said, now I'm immortal, I'm gonna live forever, so you should also do that. We can live forever together. A bit of a weird thing to say as well. Maybe that's parasocial, but um just remembered something I was gonna say earlier, but I'll say that in a second, maybe if I remember. Um, what was I even saying now? It's just interesting that I don't have a sense of fear necessarily anymore, which is maybe also where my blind confidence comes from. Not blind confidence, but like I'm a pretty confident person now, and I'm yapping on the internet, just saying shit, just doing all sorts of stuff that I would never have done in the past. And I'm sitting here being like, I'm gonna become rich and famous because that's it just sort of is what happens. Quote unquote, I'm an important person, quoting me. But um, yeah, I'm an important person. So if I get on a spooky, scary roller coaster, nothing's gonna malfunction because I can't die. I'm too important. But the um, but yeah, I'm delusional. I'm delusional in all sorts of ways like that, which is fascinating. I think it slingshotted me in the entire other direction, is what happened. Because I was like, if this kills me, I don't care. And then I went to the point of being like, wait, but I actually have to do this stupid YouTube thing. I have to tell this random story. This is the only reason why I exist. And this is propelling me to having the greatest will to live that anyone's ever had because I simply have to do this. Um, and so now I'm a narcissist and I'm like, I'm an important person. I can't die. I'm actually immortal, gamers. You ever think about that? What if, um, what if you just flip your perspective and then you can't die? That's all it takes. Um, what the fuck am I saying? This is crazy. This is some crazy shit to say. Um, oh, I was gonna say earlier, and this is certainly driving away Ronan, Monty, and Cass, but um, was it Monty or was it Cass? I'm such an asshole, and I actually can't tell the difference a lot of the time. No, I can tell the difference. It's just the fact that when I go back in my memory, I'm like, wait, which one of them said this? Because when I'm there, I can discern, and they have different voices. They do, and they're very different people. But when I go back in my memory brain, I'm like, there was Crone, and there was the other two. I'm sorry, that's kind of evil actually. But the um, what am I saying? I'm gonna say it was Monty. Wait, it actually might have been. I don't remember. Um, but being parasocial, and is this parasocial? No, low-key, I just want to like be friends with everyone, and I'm like, everyone should be happy and cool. Not in like, never mind. But the um, Monty, I believe, was talking about um the Renaissance Fair, which I was talking about earlier. You know, and they said the Renaissance Fair in Oregon, question mark, and I legit looked it up, and I was like, oh shit, could go to Oregon. Um, to the Ren Fair with Monty. Would you look at that? That would be crazy. Um, which is weird and kind of creepy, but that's like not legitimately, but I mean, um, it's crazy that that's a possibility. You know, that's the topic I wanted to talk about, and that's why I wanted to be creepy for a second, so that I could um bring up this fun little topic of it's fascinating that they're all my sort of day ones, if you will, and if I'm not too much of an evil person, too much of a narcissist, and I don't like scare them all away, then I could become rich and famous with them. I was gonna say with them also there, which seems evil, but like with them legitimately, because they would also become slightly rich and famous, which sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to ask them about that um, because I don't know if that's like scary for people that I'm gonna become rich and famous, and they're gonna like be next to me when that happens. Um, I feel like I'm accidentally making it seem like they wouldn't also become rich and famous, you know? But it's sort of like Markiplier with his friends Bob and Wade, because they're very cool, but they do objectively have less of an audience. But Clone and all them are so cool. So maybe I become slightly rich and famous, and then actually people realize that they're cooler and awesomer, and so they become more rich and famous than me. But also, some people don't want to become rich and famous, so I'm like, that's kind of, I don't know if that's a spooky thing. But with that, it's a little bit spooky that one thing that's spooky is we could meet in person because the other day on Crone's little stream, don't know why I said little stream, but the on Crone's averagely sized stream, they were saying throwing around what? Throwing around the word friend slash friendship? Um, and I was like, let's fucking go. Because I'm always saying that. I'm always like the second I meet someone, like they're actually my friend now, you know? Um, but I don't know if that's like weird and creepy to be doing that, and so I tend to not call people my friend unless they're like closer to me or whatever. I don't even know if me and Executioner are friends. I feel like we could classify us as friends, you know? What does friend even mean, dude? Because is it like, hey, yo, let's freaking go. Ronini is rating with a party of 12? That means I'm watching my own live stream right now. So I need to um go over to my computer over here. Because I got a little picture of my room on screen. That's kind of cool. Um, so you can actually see where I am currently at my computer. What am I doing? Oh, I have a separate little tab over here. That's just my stream now that I should close. But I need to shut the hell up and actually do like streamer things. What is up, gamers? Heck yeah. Thank you for the protection potatoes. Love me a protection potato. That's crazy. And I forget Crone drew that, right? Or am I crazy? Um, Crone's very cool, low-key being becoming friends with Crone and all them. Um, what am I saying? Welcome in gamers. Um, I'm actually so obnoxious, like what is wrong with me? But literally I'm doing a rearranging of my room stream, which is maybe the worst idea I've ever had for a stream. But here we are. The microphone quality is actually kind of bad. Maybe I should say that because I do have this little lavalier microphone that's kind of old and wasn't very expensive, but it's useful because I can walk around and I'm currently doing a little spin, you know? I don't have to look towards a microphone or like hold anything or be sat at a desk anywhere. Except um future streams, mayhaps soon, I can be sitting at this desk. And let me do the rest of um the things. Thanks for the raid, Ronnie. Krona's Cool does very good art. That is in fact true and factual. Very true, very cool art. Shout out Crone. Shout out Ronnie for the freaking stream, dude. Or not what? Shout out, I guess thanks for streaming and being a streamer. That's cool and entertaining. Um, but thanks for the raid. Feel free to raid and run, sprint the hell out of here away from my obnoxious ass. And also if you need to consume sustenance and get water and things. Unfortunately, I actually don't even know if I'm going to be going for that much longer. Probably actually quite a bit longer because I do still have more moving of this desk to do. I've been moving this desk for a very long time, but that's kind of because I've just been yapping and not moving it. Um, but it's kind of heavy as hell, and I've been inching it ever so slightly. And why was I saying this? Because we're doing a desk moving stream, which sucks, but I don't even know. But welcome in, raid and run. I need water. That's what I was saying. Is mayhaps I end slightly soon or like go get water because after doing longer streams and more streams, I am realizing that water is in fact important if you're going to be yapping at the speed of light that I sometimes do. Got to run to work sadly, 9 hours of work ahead of me. Shit, dude. Good luck with that 9 hours. Get to work, broski. Thanks for trusting me with your audience. I promise I won't corrupt them. I say, crossing my little fingies behind my back. Um, but I won't corrupt them on purpose, you know? I should say that. But um, good luck at work. Thanks for the raid yet again. Pretty crazy. Some people like introduce themselves during a raid. Should I do that? I feel like at least a couple people might have left. Um, sure. What's up, gamers? I'm every single juncture. I kind of just stream everything, honestly. Maybe I should make a stream video. I've seen someone stream video recently. That was pretty cool. Sup? What is up, Angela? Other word that I don't know how to say. Okapi? Okapi? Who knows? I guess I could have just said Angela, you know? What's up, Angela? Um, yeah, I'm just sort of streaming anything all the time. Like, why am I doing a desk moving stream? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. An okapi is an animal. That makes sense. I should look up what that is right now, you know? Um, phones are crazy now. The fact that I can just like hold my home button and highlight this word and images of it appear. Yo, this is cool. This is like zebra horse deer thing. Very cool, very interesting. But heck yeah. Love me an animal. Strange little animal. And I don't think I've ever heard of that. And I'm probably saying it wrong, but the welcome in gamers, I've already said that several times. And that's kind of what I do. I kind of just yap eternally. I am legitimately kind of obnoxious, but sometimes ignore the voice crack that kind of just happened there, but it sometimes I do in fact say stuff that's kind of cool slash entertaining. It's a relative of the giraffe and only lives in a small area in the middle of Africa jungles. Relative of the giraffe. That's cool. I don't think I would have guessed. Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm taking a closer look at these pictures and it has the same little um horns question mark? Like weird things on its head? I don't know. But yeah, it does. That's weird because it doesn't really resemble a giraffe that much, but I can see the resemblance, as one might say. Crazy his zebra stripes are not related. Yeah, that's what I guessed. I was like, is this one of those weird zebra horse things? Isn't that something? Like a zebra and a horse mixed together, which are kind of just similar animals anyway. But zebras and some other animal, I think, they be doing stuff together, you know? Um, wasn't I like introing myself? Who knows? I'm I just yap on the internet, dude. Sometimes I play games. The other day I was playing a fun little puzzle game that apparently I've already played in the past. And um oh, I'm doing a desk moving stream because the weird janky setup that I had before for stream isn't working that much anymore, so I need to move this desk over to where I can use my capture card more. That's very cool and awesome. And just stream like sitting down like a normal person. Because usually I'm standing up and my feet and my knees very much disagree with that decision that I've made. So I need to not be standing all the time. So I'm moving this desk here, which is going to be cool and awesome. And what the hell am I even saying? This is what stream is like, actually. If that's cool and fun, if you're interested. But also, I'm in fact paranoid about viewer counts. Kind of. I don't know. I kind of just like looking at it for some reason. I don't even really care if it goes up a ton, really. But that doesn't mean I do acknowledge that some people have left. Um, and they could actually just like have a life and have important things they have to go do. Or I could have actually just drove them away, which is very much a possibility. But doing this desk moving stream, because mayhaps, gamers, I start doing art streams recently. I do like to do lots of weird, janky drawings in my little sketchbook, you know? I do in fact have to be making a video game as well with this sketchbook. Oh, um, what am I saying? Yeah, I'm supposed to be making a video game this year with my sketchbook, which is an interesting concept. And the more I actually logically think about it and the way I'm supposed to be going about doing it, and like what I want the game to be, the more I'm like, oh, this is actually the worst decision I could have made because it's 5,000 times too ambitious, which is kind of, if I actually want to be a game dev, there's no way I'm gonna not do that because even making video games in this like weird little engine thing that kind of isn't a game engine, Dreams PS4, shout out that game. Even when I made games in that, they were 5,000 times too ambitious. So mayhaps one day I'll have um the correct amount of skill to be making things that I want to be making, but I don't know. I also wanted to do a silly little drawing stream where I make Twitch emotes because that's something that I do, which is interesting because bringing sketches from a sketchbook into video games and Twitch, I guess, would be very fascinating. I got lots of fun little designs in my brain and kind of written out, and some of them slightly doodled in that sketchbook. But yeah, very cool, very interesting thing that's going to be happening soon, maybe. If I can actually move this desk into this corner. I've kind of been working on this the whole stream. I did move like a little mirror out of the way. I guess now that there's no people here, mayhaps I give context. There are actually just people here in general, unless you count me, technically there's no people here. Um, What am I doing? Oh, yes. Okay, so I've got a fun little image on screen of my room. You know, there's that brown desk in the corner there. That's the desk I'm moving. That's the desk I'm talking about. And we're moving it over here to the opposite end where this mirror is. Um, this makes sense because I've played a visual novel or two in my day. And look, there's the curtain that's there on both the pictures, so it makes sense to your brain. You can sort of discern what's going on here, maybe, right? And that's on the right side. What the hell am I even saying, dude? This is not entertaining in the slightest. Like, why did I think a desk moving stream would be a good idea? And it was supposed to just be moving, rearranging my room, and then I was like, oh wait, it's almost 5 a.m. now, and I need to go to sleep, but I also need to move my bed to this other corner. But so maybe this was in fact just a desk moving stream, and I'll do all the other stuff in my own time, where the yapping can happen in my brain, you know? I'm not being so obnoxious that the stream goes all the way down to 3 viewers. I'm actually like I can just sort of think and um stuff like that. And I should mention again, usually when I'm streaming, it's with a better mic that I spent lots of money on. But now I only have one lavalier microphone, and it's not the like fancy Rode microphone that everyone else has. It's like it was actually like $15 on Amazon or something like that. Truly, it's kind of crazy. I love this song, Monolith by Twin Tribes, which is weird because I actually kind of didn't like it at first. It's so separate from my music taste, and it's actually like this is like goth music, if you will. Um, and usually I don't really like this genre, but YouTube recommended it to me, and I couldn't not click on it because of the thumbnail for the music video. And the music video was so fucking cool that I kept going back to it, and then of course the song got stuck in my head. And then I was like, I just have to add this to my playlist. So it's a cool song, but interesting genre, mayhaps, that maybe doesn't appeal to a lot of people, but it's pretty cool actually. It's not my favorite song, but pretty freaking cool. And I should also mention that I do listen to music often, and my playlist is so polarizing. Like, you're actually gonna receive whiplash from whatever the hell is coming up next. Let me check. Well, Chronic by Claire Rosencrantz, that's like fully a pop song, I think, right? Most of that album is like pop-esque just overall, so I'm pretty sure that one's also within that genre. We got this fun little instrument that's going on in this song though right now. Is that pop-esque? Can we count a little synth as pop-esque? A cute little synth? That's how I'm doing it. I'm moving my desk. It kind of hurts the way I'm doing it, and it's kind of difficult to do just as like one person. I guess it wouldn't be that much different with two people. Um, but I am in fact doing it. Holy shit, I'm not crushing my fingers here. Hang on. I mean, this doesn't make sense. I'm just gonna crush my fingers and see what happens. I did it, I think. Gamers, we've done it. I've moved a whole ass desk from one side of my room to the other, which isn't that far away. But the desk was pretty heavy, despite the fact that I took out the drawers, which have a heavy ass stuff in them. Guess I could put the drawers back in. Mayhaps a little ASMR as I grab this lavalier microphone, which I'm pretty sure makes a lot of noise because it's like kind of cheap and jostles around. But let's place this drawer back. It's so much heavier than I thought. Ow, I cannot lift this with one hand. Here we go, drawer ASMR. Watch this. It's stuck. This isn't satisfying in the slightest. Hang on. Ow. Ow. I'm gonna set this down. Hang on. Okay, so you know what? I can't get the drawer back in. It was a desk moving stream, not a drawer putting back stream. So that seems like it's a problem for future me. What am I doing though? You know what I could do? I could plug in my regular microphone for a second and then give you guys the luscious experience of hearing my voice in slightly higher quality. Um, I actually don't think it's too bad, too much of a difference, but actually it could be because I was doing recordings before this to check the levels of things kind of. Um, and the lavalier wasn't as bad as I remember, I think, but it might still be horrible, you know? I guess I'll leave that up to everyone else when I plug in my Epic Gamer microphone. It's got RGB and everything, you know? Um, and then I could start the 1 hour outro that I often do. And then I'll have to put every single thing back in my room where it is because you can't tell from the picture. I guess you can see a guitar right there in that black case. Um, but there's that. There's a whole ass mirror. I can switch to the other image actually, and you can see the mirror. Yoink. That LED mirror there, that's out of place now. And like a few other things. And I gotta put those drawers back. Um, but yeah, desk moving stream. Mayhaps one of my worst ideas yet, but we did in fact do it. And I think I brought up a couple of interesting things. Maybe. I was talking about something interesting actually when when the Ronnie raid happened. Shout out Ronnie. But the um every time I get raided, I'm like, actually I don't think I expressed enough gratitude because that's actually sick as hell that Ronnie raided me. And very kind, very awesome. So that's very cool, very awesome. You know, I'm a very small streamer mayhaps, and I don't really care too much about the numbers because I am a narcissist and I do believe I'm going to be rich and famous one day, which is kind of a joke sometimes, but kind of not. But um what am I saying? But it's so much appreciated, you know? This is how I'm going to become rich and famous is Ronnie's going to raid me enough times and I'm just going to steal his whole audience and then that mixed with me saying controversial things, I don't know. I don't say controversial things, but I say many things, so eventually they're just gonna become controversial. You know, it's kind of like you say enough things and you just sort of run out of things to say, and then you start accidentally saying horrible things, and then yeah, hold on, Epic Gamer Mic, advanced audio properties, wrong thing. Let me not talk about OBS stuff because that's confusing and scary. But
Did I
did I
break
break
something?
something?
I think I
I think
just
I just
broke
broke
something.
something.
HyperX
HyperX
Quadcast S.
Quadcast S.
Okay.
Okay.
I did
I
break
did
something.
break
It's kind
something.
of
It's kind
scary.
of scary. I mean, at least I know that lavalier microphone is like good. It has good battery and shit. You know? We're onto the Epic Gamer mic. I need to fix the PNG tuber though. This guy. Yes. Yoink. And we are back, gamers, exactly the way we were meant to be. Hey, yo. Oh god, now both our mics are picking up your voice. Yes. Briefly, that was happening, and that's kind of spooky. Yeah, the good mic is working. What is up, Executioner? What is up, my guy? I keep forgetting to like message you on Discord. I was looking the other day and I was like, oh shit. It's been a hot minute. Like it's kind of insane. So I need to do that. There's like 5 million things I need to do, and it's actually March already, which is really fucked up. Um, I remember I told Crone the other day that it's March in chat, and they were like, "Yeah, that's fucked up. I agree." Yeah, I've been here a while, but I've been working while just listening. Heck yeah, gamer. Shout out working on things, you know? I've been working on things. I've actually been uncharacteristically productive. It's kind of absurd. Like I've been, for the most part, uploading on Instagram and usually on the text apps as well, but I don't have ADHD, but I do in fact forget most of the time, but it's mostly every day. And on the text posts, I will usually forget entirely until like 7 hours later, which is what I have done today. But that's fine, I guess. I didn't realize that might have been kind of spooky sounding when both the mics were being picked up. Because I did see that was happening. I'm like, that's not too much of a problem. Um, I'll just do this thing. What am I doing right now? I don't know. Fuck. I just did the wrong thing. Um, I don't know what I'm saying. I was talking about something interesting earlier, I think. I was talking about being rich and famous, actually, kind of. But I actually have no clue what I'm trying to do right now. I was trying to like get ahead of things and um hide the lavalier source in OBS, which actually doesn't make any sense to anyone who doesn't know how OBS works. I barely know how OBS works, but I thought there was a way to like hide this somehow. And I'm trying to like remove it, but I'm like, is that going to remove it forever? Because I kind of need that to exist every once in a while. Because I did use it today, walking around and doing lots of things. I did move that desk. That was crazy. I was talking about that. Hang on. Yeah, but the desk is there where that bright ass LED mirror is. Maybe it doesn't look as bright in that picture because the regular like overhead light is on. Um, but truly that thing is so fucking bright. It's crazy. I kind of love that mirror. Greatest Christmas gift I ever got. Pretty big mirror too. And also I'm a narcissist, so I do enjoy staring at myself in the mirror, you know? But look at that desk. It was over there, now it's over yonder. Oh, and I need to put all my trinkets back on the top of that desk. That's maybe why it looks slightly strange to my eyeballs. Dude, I kind of love this song. Um, the cover art slash the music video was also, it's kind of gross, but very cool song. Um, what the hell was I saying though? Oh, this is also Whiplash as well, right? We had that Claire Rosencrantz song, which was very maybe pop-esque, I don't remember. Mr. Wives, which is like kind of pop as well. I actually don't know how genres work, but perhaps just a little bit more alternative. And then we got Violet Orlandi. I actually don't even know what genre this is. Who knows, dude? Alternative? Um, other words? I actually have no clue. I don't know any genres. I kind of just know the main ones. Like pop, indie, question mark. Um, this is uninteresting maybe what I'm talking about, but I think I can just remove this lavalier thing and it'll go away in a way that isn't problematic. But desk moving stream, mayhaps I remove this text here, and I can delete this because we're never going to do another desk moving stream again. Nerdcore is a genre? That's insane. Nerdcore? What does that even mean, dude? Is it... I actually don't know. There's so many weird genres, like, um, there's subgenres of things, and also
like super niche things. Like you could probably just make up any sort of genre, right? That's like how music works or whatever. But it's hip hop, but mostly video game inspired music. Oh, okay, that's sick as hell. I like hip hop. I've actually gotten a lot more into hip hop. I was gonna say semi recently, but then I forget that time passing is a thing, unfortunately. So it's probably been like a few years actually of me being somewhat into hip hop. I would prove it by saying one of the hip hop songs coming up, but there actually isn't any. But Sophie Hunter was a little while ago. That's hip hop. Um, I'm not gonna start listing off hip hop people that I listen to, but the I actually don't know what I was talking about. Mayhaps outroing slightly. The biggest nerdcore artist is Dan Bull. My personal favorite is the Stupendium. Okay. Sick nasty, bro. Cool name. Stupendium. Dan Bull. Is that Dan Bull's actual name? Cause kind of cool name. Oh, I thought I broke the music for a second, but my headphones just have this weird feature where when you remove the left ear cup thing, it like pauses whatever's playing, which I kind of dislike. I think I should disable that feature. Um, maybe I should like end like actually soon because it's 5 a.m. That's insane, dude. But there's so much stuff I have to move back to where it once was. And I actually have to eventually reorganize all this stuff. But that's okay. I will do that eventually. Um what am I saying? I guess I could have kept the lavalier on and tried to see if I can move my bed by myself. I probably could, but it might be more involved than I would like it to. Yeah, his full name is Daniel, but his actual name, yes. Okay. Sick nasty. Cool last name. Very cool. Um I'm actually holding my microphone right now, and I don't know why, but this microphone is constructed in a way where when I hold it, it actually is excruciatingly painful. Um, I guess microphones are pretty heavy, and if you hold it by one side, you kind of have the rest of the entire fucking microphone sort of leveraged against your wrist, which isn't cool if you enjoy having wrists that like feel good all the time. Also left some marks in my skin and flesh, so maybe I just need to drink water. What am I saying? Um, I was talking about being rich and famous earlier, and I was like, it is becoming a possibility that I could, in fact, um, meet streamer people in real life, which is something I never consider because, um, because what am I saying? Um, yeah, go take care of yourself, my man. I will do that. I certainly will do that, but let me finish this 1 hour outro real quick. Um, being rich and famous, streamer people, I think weirdly, I always would think about YouTube and all this stuff as like a very solo thing. And I guess all the YouTube stuff is kind of solo, but the fact that doing live streaming, I've met all these different people, Loki becoming friends with Crone and all them, and they were in fact throwing around the word friend the other day on stream. And I was like, that's crazy. They're like, we're stealing your friendship or whatever. Um, and of course, Executioner, let's freaking go. I've been thinking of going back to 7 Days to Die because I'm like, I freaking love that game. Was gonna stream it in your memory, low key. Um, I'm sorry, I know you're not like dead or whatever. You haven't passed away. You are in fact here in stream. But yeah, I've been wanting to play that game recently, kinda. So that could be cool and awesome. I don't know if I know how to play that anymore or if I'm good at it. Maybe I've just forgotten everything and no one and it's all over. Yeah, we also really like to get back to Outriders. Oh my gosh, yes. Outriders is sick as hell. I remember the lore. I was just thinking like, oh shit, do I even remember like what was going on? I do in fact remember, like superpowers, weird alien planet kind of. And then shit went down, we're old as hell, weird other guy with big juicy superpowers. I don't know if I need to be explaining the lore of Outriders right now, but um yeah, weirdly all this was very solo and I was like, whoa, the power of friendship. And also, is that scary? Because um legit the power of friendship's very cool stuff going on. And Ronnie rated me earlier. That was cool. Um yeah, sorry they've been practically non-existent for so long. No problem, gamer. That does in fact happen. It's happened to me in the past many a time. I remember when I first started doing YouTube, I was kind of super depressed all the time and I would like low key quit YouTube for several months in between uploads. Um but yeah, I'm not doing that, but I kind of did, except it actually just took a month to edit a YouTube video, mayhaps more than that, probably more than that. Um but now the YouTube video is out and I have 3 other videos that I have to edit. So that's cool, that's fun. But I did say I've been uncharacteristically productive, so actually I might get to those and I might make them soon. Who knows? Maybe. But yeah, legit the power of friendship. Ronnie rated me. He's very cool and awesome. Been existing when I can, kinda, in Ronnie streams. Sometimes I just lurk there though. It's a fun little vibe. And um and sometimes I just want to exist there. And also the timing is kind of strange sometimes because usually I'm either going to sleep or just waking up and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be chatting and whatnot right now. What the hell am I saying? Ronnie and Crone and Cass and Monty. Look at all these names that I remember. An Executioner. Um, the power of friendship, but also I'm like, I don't know if that's the vibe that they're trying to curate and exist in because I'm like, I'm so adamantly like, I'm gonna be rich and famous, and I'm also an obnoxious YouTuber and all this stupid stuff. And I was saying earlier, I think it legitimately this is narcissistic, but I do think that it's a guarantee that I'll at least be known in I was gonna say many different circles. I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually gonna be rich and famous, but I do think it's a guarantee that people will appear because I feel like I could tell cool stories, right? And and also just the stupid gaming videos I've heard are entertaining and funny. Um, and sometimes I agree. So at the very least, I'll find a little community. It just depends if I obtain a big, fat, juicy audience. But I don't know if that's scary for everyone else in my general vicinity because I don't know. I guess objectively it could be good for some people. I don't want to like speak for them, but like Crone and all them, they're like professional artists, right? So if I become rich and famous, I'm gonna be like, you'll pay these people money. They're very good artists, you know? But I don't know, maybe it'll be scary and spooky. Except maybe not actually, because I don't maybe it's very narcissistic to say that. Because what if I'm not that rich and famous? Because usually it is legitimately a bit, kinda. Um, so I don't think I'm gonna be not in the like classic way of being rich and famous, which maybe I shouldn't say rich and famous if that's not like what I mean. Um, but I don't know. I actually don't know what I'm saying anymore. I've sort of devolved into um saying 5:13 a.m. things. Helping others is always nice. We are here to pull each other up. You help others and we help you. It goes both ways. Thanks, gamer. Um, which is certainly true. That's what's happening now, because I feel like at this point I probably would still be streaming to me, myself, and I if it weren't for, I mean, literally that's what was happening before Ronnie raided me. But um, if it wasn't for Executioner finding me on a whim, which is pretty freaking crazy. I think about that often because that like fully has sort of shaped um me as a live streamer kind of a little bit because I watch many different people that have sort of that I wouldn't have known about before that kind of just branched out from Executioner and Ronnie and then Crone and all them. So yeah, I watch many new people on Twitch now, and I know of people, and they sometimes know of me, which is a little bit spooky sometimes. But I guess that's what being rich and famous means. Maybe I should actually stop saying that because I do consider it sometimes, and I'm like, oh, this actually, I'm like not mentally prepared to be any sort of rich or famous because um the other day I was in Crone's stream and I was like, I did the YouTube video. Um and they were all like, I want to watch it. Post the link in stream. And legitimately I started like shaking in real life. And I don't even know why. I wasn't like that scared objectively, like looking at things. I was like, yeah, that's okay, I guess. But I was like shaking and kind of freaking out a little bit. Nothing wrong with being ambitious. Yeah, I guess so. And people keep saying that. But I don't know. I guess that means that maybe people do understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about being rich and famous and other things like that. But yes. Um this is one of the many things I have to do. I have to like fix my Epic Gamer mic because I feel like I could adjust the settings of all these stupid filters that are on it and and I could make it sound the way it's supposed to sound maybe. I don't know. Maybe this is how it's supposed to sound. It actually sounds pretty good sometimes, many times. But what if it could sound ever so slightly better? Hey, this song's kind of cool. Um, I was gonna say, but no one's gonna be able to hear it because I'm gonna end stream. But maybe I watch the music video because I can look at it because I'm not on display capture right now. You've tried that before and it went completely ass up every time. Remember? That is in fact true. Except the thing I was adjusting there was this weird like automatic thing that's on that's just a part of Microsoft, I guess. Um, they just have like weird noise suppression stuff that I don't think was always there because eons ago when I first started doing YouTube and when I was using that lavalier microphone for everything that I was just using. Um, but that used to pick up. Oh my god! I'm just now realizing that the dial on the bottom of my microphone is turned all the way up, which it usually isn't supposed to be that way. I think I just accidentally bumped into it, kind of. So don't mean to make people's ears bleed, or maybe it sounded weird just tonally, but I've adjusted it to where it usually is. Kinda. But what the fuck am I saying? Yeah, that lavalier microphone back when I first started, it used to pick up everything. Um, like sneezes and screaming and stuff, and that was a lot of the humor in my YouTube videos. I'm honestly not noticing any difference. That's cool. Sometimes I've actually been like, does this dial even work? Is my microphone broken? Who knows? Sometimes I get stuff and it's broken. My gaming mouse that I use sometimes is also broken and it came that way, so that's cool. Um, what am I saying? The lavalier microphone? That was a lot of the humor. I would like scream at the end of my video, not scream like entirely, but I would like yell and it would cut off and it was funny. And that was mostly how I ended YouTube videos. Um, and I would sneeze and it would be like super loud and like it would peak and it would be distorted and it was like funny and cool. And I still like that sort of joke of doing that. But I've since used that same lavalier microphone and I just turned off all the filters that I put on it. And it didn't even sound the same. It wouldn't pick up loud sounds like that. And so I was like, what the fuck? And then I learned that it was a little Microsoft setting. And then I tried to turn that off and it was too much actually. And so I need to either turn that off and then add my own filters in OBS to like do it manually in a way that is good or leave that on and also adjust filters. I don't know. But I feel like there's something I could be doing here maybe. Or maybe I'll just leave it this way forever. And would you look at that? We listened to this whole last song and I'm still yapping. And I'm still gonna be yapping, so the next song is Joe, so that's cool. People are waking up right now. That's probably not picking up on the mic, but that is happening. It's 5:19. I don't think people should be waking up, so they might just be going to the bathroom or something. Just looking at my hand for some reason. I have so many scars on my hand randomly, and one of them is super stupid, and it's from like a straw. Sounds like a lot of complicated technical stuff. It is. It's really annoying. Um, I hate having to learn all these like ancillary things because I was like, oh, I just want to be a YouTuber, you know, a silly little YouTuber, and that was many years ago. And um, you think you just like sit down, you record yourself playing video games, whatever that means, and then you edit that down, whatever that means as well, and then you upload it. Um, and then you have to download OBS, and then you have to figure out how to record yourself, and then you have to get that onto your computer. No, it would already be on your computer, but at the beginning, I had to figure out how to get like PlayStation recordings and stuff onto my computer. Um, and then you have to figure out how to edit, which is everything. Um, because what you don't realize is when you sign up to become a YouTuber, you're actually signing up to become an editor exclusively, basically. And you kind of play video games and record that on the side a little bit, but usually you're just editing. And then you have to learn to come to terms with that, gamers. What you don't realize signing up to become a YouTuber is you're signing up to probably need therapy eventually. Probably not. I think that's actually just comes with the territory, maybe. Maybe you're just sort of prone to need therapy if you're like on the internet. What the actual hell am I talking about? How long has it been? Oh wow, this has actually been kind of an hour-long outro. I don't think this has been an outro. I kind of just have been saying things. Should I start outroing, or was there something else that I was trying to say? Probably. There's many things that I remember that I don't remember actually talking about. I did say many things though. Like, watch this. Hang on. Display capture. Kind of spooky, kind of scary. But look at this. I was talking about Lagoon amusement park. Don't know who these people are. Apparently it's closed temporarily. That's what it says down here. Maybe it was evil, but I'm from Utah. Look at this big ass mountain. This is in Utah. I was talking about this ride and the fact that I'm kind of lost any sort of sense of fear that I have because I went on this ride and it's kind of the scariest fucking thing of all time. Because you like go in here, this is actually a fucking elevator, and you go up and then you stop here and then it doesn't even go straight down. Usually, the thing about roller coasters is they go straight down and it's spooky and it's scary, but this one like goes in. And it's kind of horrifying. And usually I would look at this and be like, oh, fuck that. But that was many years ago when I had that kind of mindset. But then epic gamer moments, I lost my will to live. And then I was like, you know what? Sure, dude. Why not? And that's not a problem anymore. I have the opposite problem where I have infinite will to live now. Um, but weirdly, I still don't really fear anything like this or anything at all, really. It's kind of weird and interesting. But that's cool. Would you look at that, gamers? It was actually a superpower in the end. That's actually a not good thing to say. And it was not fun. But um what am I saying? Is this the end? I did an hour-long outro, trauma dumped for a second, and then actually we're ending. Who are these people? I'm kidding. I think it's just a video that exists somewhere. Where did I find out Lagoons may be evil? I think it was this. If I go to never mind. Yeah, Lagoon in Utah. You can't go there anymore, maybe, because it's temporarily closed, apparently. Or is this like incorrect? Is this just because it's 5:24 a.m. and Lagoon, the amusement park, isn't going to be open at 5 a.m.? Here's the address. This is where I used to live, bro. Doxing myself. I don't even live in Utah anymore, so, which is unfortunate because sometimes I'm like, there's no mountains anywhere, you know? Because the thing about Utah is there's mountains everywhere, and you look in any direction and there's just a big ass mountain, which is kind of cool. But now I look at the horizon and there's just like nothing there. There's just sky and maybe clouds sometimes. So yeah, that's interesting. I need to like actually in stream and go to sleep and work on many things. What day is it? The thing is, I need to like edit down a whole ass podcast, which legitimately is a podcast this week because usually I'm just shit posting or yapping for like 20 to 30 minutes. And sometimes it's edited, but this is the first time that it's actually a podcast and I recorded for like an hour and a half and it was kind of crazy. Sleep well, juncture, go to bed. I will in fact go to bed. Thank you, gamer. But let me say this one last thing. I need to make this stupid little podcast because I recorded for like an hour and a half. Going to the Coinstar to become rich and famous, which is a hilarious title and thumbnail, but it's going to be an absolute freaking lie. So sorry. And close some of those 500 tabs, bro. What? I'm never closing any of these tabs. Okay. Um, I should. I actually don't have ADHD, but I maybe do because these two tabs were, um, I was listening to a stupid little, um, podcast question mark, but it was like a live stream, but it was like a fundraiser thing. Um, and what am I saying? It doesn't matter. Basically, someone who was on the podcast, they were like taking calls, the podcast thing, this live stream. Um, I need to sleep right now, but the live stream was a telethon, if you will, taking calls from viewers and other people. And one of the people shouted out this band. It was like their partner's band or something, Bella Artois. And I was like, oh, let me check that out. That could be cool, Random shout out to a band that I've never listened to or heard of. Let's listen to that. Um, and they're super underground apparently. They like have only a few songs. Well, it's not going to show up on YouTube, but 52 subscribers. That's my favorite number. Wait, gamers, I have more subscribers than them. Look at me. It's going to my head, honestly, because hang on, let me throw everyone into the void for a second so that I can very briefly visit my own YouTube channel because I'm a narcissist and it pops up instantaneously when I hit the E key. But look at this, gamers. I'm at 58. When did that happen? I'm actually becoming rich and famous. It used to be 53. Wait. Oh. never mind. I don't know. I don't know what happened here, but short films has been here since the dawn of time, and I've never made a single short film, but I was supposed to. What am I saying? Dude, I fucking love this song. This whole ass album is so good. Hang on, I already started like 3 tangents, and I'm gonna wrap every single one of them up, even though I said the first one was gonna be the last thing that I say. I think I already said it. I said I was gonna go to the coin store to become rich and famous, which is actually clickbait because I didn't want to do that because the coin store has a fee. So I just went to the bank. I feel bad. I was evil and I gave the bank teller every single coin I've been collecting ever since I was like 10 years old. Which actually wasn't that many coins, but um it was a decent chunk of coins. It was like $16 in coins. So now I own essentially no coins. I have a few coins that I kept. But I'm actually rich now. I just need to become famous by uploading that YouTube video with the clickbait title and thumbnail. Um, but I have to edit that. And to edit that, I need to obtain sleep and take care of myself and things like that. Epic segue, gamers. I was also gonna say I'm not gonna close any of these tabs because that thing I could close some of these writing things that I don't need open. I'm gonna close this one because it's Twitch and it's just here for live streaming. Are there really 5 viewers here? No, that's a lie. There could be, I guess. I don't think I ever considered that. Twitch could be incorrect on my phone, or it could be incorrect here, which it probably is because this isn't playing anymore. These ones I could close now because it was just me being like, look at this spooky ride that I've been on. I can close this because it's my YouTube channel, but I need to go on my YouTuber account and check why I have more subscribers than I used to. You know, maybe someone left a fun little comment on one of my YouTube videos or something, and also subscribed. Because that tends to happen. Or who knows, maybe I obtained like 5 subscribers randomly. I think I had like 53 subscribers. Or was it 56? I don't know. Which is absurd because not that long ago I only had like 40 something. So, slowly but surely, gamers, I'm becoming rich and famous. Something got auto-modded. It was a bot. Or was it? Yes, it was a bot. I almost clicked allow on accident. But yes, I need to leave. I need to consume water because my throat and mouth is getting kind of dry from this infinite yapping that I've been doing over the course of 3... What is that? 3 hours. 3 hours and 10 minutes at this point. Yeah, I moved my desk. Very, inspirational stuff. Is drink and sleep. See you soon. I will, in fact, see you soon. Which is an expression, because I've never seen you and you've never seen me. Yeah, sleep and things. Outro things. Take care of yourselves, gamers. Obtain sleep and water and food and things. And, medications, question mark? Which I won't go on tangents about, because I always go on the same tangent about that. So, reference other VODs where I've gone on the tangent about hear you soon then. For real, hear you soon. Well, I just looked over at the corner that my desk used to be in, but it's not there anymore due to the results of this stream. So, let us hover the mouse over stop streaming, and that song just ended. So I'm gonna end right now, honestly. I think I said all the things, so